Yo, what it do? What the business is? We back up in this bench. Y'all know what it is. It's the Off the Sticks podcast, the sports episode. We missed y'all. It's been 7 days. My name is Killer, and I got my boys with me. Y'all do your whole intro thing.
Yo, it's Corey.
MI to the KE. Let's motherfucking get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, and speaking of let's getting it, we getting right to it. Because I tell you somebody who didn't get it, it was TCU. But one thing they did get was they ass whooped last night. 65-7. Bro, I've had national championships that were closer on NCAA 14. I'll be real with you. I expected it to be a bad one, but nothing to this extent. But this really goes to show that no matter what talent you have on the outsides, the running back position, you got all the skill players down. If you are small in the trenches and can be exposed there, I don't give a damn who you got. You're not going to get that ball off. You're not going to be able to move that ball on the ground. And it was proven. In between the tackles, Georgia owned that game on both sides of the ball. It was proven that you can win if your fat people are stronger than they fat people. And that's pretty much what that proved. 100%. Um, I seriously believe that maybe Georgia can run it back next year. I think they can because they're bringing back damn near everybody outside of that 72-year-old quarterback. Um, so we're gonna see how well this goes for them. I think they can run it back. I'm honestly just looking forward for next season because my Seminoles are bringing everyone back, but outside of one receiver, but he wasn't the one that went off, so that's all cool. But I'm liking what I see from Georgia. I think Georgia may be able to supplant Bama as the marquee program, as like the benchmark. I ain't say marquee, as the benchmark. I think they can do it. But what do you guys think, man? What y'all did y'all how soon did y'all cut the game off yesterday? Let me start there. How soon did y'all cut the game off?
Man, as soon as they threw that pick, right, like 36 seconds before halftime, I
Hmm.
was like, man, this thing over. Then George went in and scored a touchdown. I was like, okay, let me go back to watching Monday Night Raw. So I watched all of that game up to through the first half. Then I started switching back after that. And then once I saw Georgia just get like a big lead, I'm like, okay, yeah, this thing's over. Um, I'm not surprised by the outcome because as we did our predictions, I picked Georgia to win the national championship. I predicted them to go back to back. I did not expect it to look like this though. Um, Killer, I think you're on point. Georgia, they control the line of scrimmages on both sides of the ball. Like they dominated TCU up front, and it's just like that was just a 100% grade A ass whooping. That's what that was, man. And
Stone Cold say stump a mud hole in your ass.
yeah, that was I think I hate more of just how just lopsided it was because like we all talk about like I expected a more entertaining game, a little more of a back and forth, or if Georgia's going to win big, maybe like start to win big late or something like that. But Georgia, they dominated from start to finish. Again, I like this TCU team. I'm a fan of Max Duggan. Since Mike first started talking about him, I'm a fan of his. But Georgia, they were just a machine last night, man. And like, I mean, shoot. As far as them supplanting Bama, I won't say that yet. However, I know that's becoming more and more of the conversation of how Georgia could potentially supplant Bama as the marquee football team in college football. Um, I can't say it just yet, but I won't be. It wouldn't surprise me either if it ended up happening. I'll say that. But congrats to Georgia, TCU, lick your wounds, and man, I hope. Yeah, that was that. Last night happened. Go ahead, Mike.
I'll turn the game off at the end of the first quarter. End of the first quarter. As a Texas fan, I had a smile on my face. I can't stand I mean all the Texas schools, we can't stand each other at all. So um, TCU ain't necessarily Texas A&M, but they still a Texas school. So I was happy to see them lose. What I didn't want to see was them lose the way that they did. I would have preferred it to be a close game, go down to the last drive, maybe a game winning drive, maybe a game winning stop on the goal line. That's how I would have preferred the national championship, because it is a national championship. But um the game honestly was uninteresting. I knew Georgia was going to win going into it. So I put money on TCU. I put $5 on TCU in Bet MGM, just in case they pulled off a miracle. But I knew Georgia was going to win. So it didn't come as a surprise at all. Um, Especially when you got an almost 30-year-old playing against kids. I mean, you're going to win. So there's that part too, which I'm sure, Killer, you're gonna get into.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, man, congrats to Georgia. They deserved it. They're the third team ever to go perfect 15-0 season. Um, Killer, you said something about supplanting Alabama. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. Who Georgia has supplanted, or not supplanted, but who they are comparable to. They are comparable to the Clemson Tigers. The Clemson Tigers from 4 years from like 4 years ago.
From the Deshaun Watson era,
Yeah, from like like
Mm.
the Deshaun
Deshaun and
Watson.
Trevor.
Yeah, the Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence era, that era of Clemson, that's what Georgia is now. I mean, like quite frankly, if you was a high school recruit, if you was a 5-star high school recruit and you had the opportunity to pick Georgia or Alabama, I mean, even with Georgia winning the national championship, 9 times out of 10, those 5-star recruits are going to pick Alabama over Georgia, because of Nick Saban, and because majority of this lifetime has been dominated by Alabama. So in order for Georgia to supplant Alabama, they have a long way to go. And honestly, I don't want to see Alabama supplanted. I hate Alabama with a passion, but I don't want to see them supplanted. I don't want to see them replaced. What I want is, I want to see the other competition raise their game, so that Alabama is now competing with a bunch of different schools on their same level. Georgia is the only school that's on Alabama's level right now, and they recently just got there. So I can't say that Georgia is on Alabama's level yet, from a historical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, though, I do think they are on the same level, and it's good to see that there's another team that can compete with Georgia now. I mean, that can compete with Alabama now. Is that what I'm hoping for is for more competition for now, Alabama and Georgia. I'm hoping when Texas gets to the SEC, that provides some deeper competition. I'm hoping that Texas A&M, that they get some bigger name recruits, some 5 4-star recruits
I
to
hate
keep
A&M.
up. I mean, I hate A&M too, but my thing is, iron sharpens iron. So what I want to see is good football. Like, whether I'm watching NFL or college football, I want to see good football. I'm tired of seeing motherfucking blowouts between fucking what you call them, like the blue bloods of college football. Like, there's no reason why Alabama and you remember y'all remember I know y'all remember this championship. Corey, me and you was watching this national championship with Stedman, the Texas Longhorns versus Alabama, when Colt McCoy
Mm-hmm.
was in the national championship and got put out
He
on the
got
first
Got
knocked
play.
out.
hurt.
On the
Yep.
first play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it makes no sense to me. That was a blowout. Now, even with Colt McCoy, if he lasted the whole game, to me, that still would have Texas still would have got blown out. Um, but it makes no sense to me that you have a historical collegiate program like Alabama, and you have another historical collegiate program like Texas, meeting at the biggest stage, and then the game is a blowout. I don't want to see that. I want to see these two historical colleges, that who are known to get this top tier talent. I want to see them clash. I want to see the what is it? I want to see the what is it? The like the force meeting the immovable object. I'm trying to see that standoff. I'm trying to see that competition. You know what I'm saying? So I'm tired of these blowouts. So even though I hate A&M, I hope they get some more talent. I hope, I just hope the level of talent, especially because the SEC is becoming this super conference. I'm just hoping the level of talent just raises across the board. So now Alabama and Georgia now have other teams that can like challenge them. Um, last week I talked about last week when L was on the show, he asked me about like why I don't like Kevin Durant, and I talked about how I feel like I was robbed for 4 years of good basketball because it was a foregone conclusion. Well, that's kind of how I feel about college football right now. If it ain't Alabama, it's gonna be Georgia. If it ain't Georgia, it's gonna be Alabama, and I don't really like that. So I say all that to say I just hope the competition gets raised. But yeah, you was right. You're right. The game is one in the trenches, and just for anybody that watches football, regardless of what you see, regardless of the explosive plays, regardless of the bombs in the 57-yard passing plays that y'all see, the game. Make no mistake about it, the game is always one of the trenches. Whoever wins the line of scrimmage is going to win the game. That is a fact that is never going to change in the game of football. Um, so yeah, Killer, you was right. They Georgia dominated. They dominated the line of scrimmage on both ends. Um,
Mhm.
and when you do that, you have no shot at winning the game. You have no shot at winning the game if the opposition is dominating the line of scrimmage on offense and defense. So
Exactly. And I actually talked about that on Sunday. Because I didn't even watch my Steelers play Sunday. I actually did some stuff for this All-Star game.
real quick, real
Sunday.
quick, real
Yeah.
quick. I know we're gonna get into the NFL. I know we're gonna get into
Hmm.
the NFL, but
Oh yeah.
I have to give a shout out to Mike Tomlin. And I know this man don't know who the hell I am, but Mike Tomlin, before the football season started, when we did our predictions, I said the Pittsburgh Steelers would finish 9-8. Killer, you were
Hmm.
you were not optimistic about your team. I said the Steelers would finish 9-8. I said that Mike Tomlin's streak of winning records would continue to go. Now I was nervous about it, but I thought that he would pull it out, and he pulled it out. We ain't got to talk about it right now. I know we're gonna get into it, but I gotta show Mike Tomlin love because I love like Mike Tomlin is probably the most successful black coach in all of NFL history. So like I really gotta show that man love. He deserve it. But we
I'll
ain't got
be
to talk.
honest. I removed the mic.
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean, yeah.
remove the mic.
What? Oh, no, no, no. Let me clarify that. Me saying might be the best black coach in NFL history. That was kind of a filler word. You know what I mean? I don't
Okay.
mean.
I'm about to say. I was
No,
like
no, no. I don't mean
Dennis
there's
Green.
actually, yeah, I don't mean there's actually somebody else some other black guy who can compete with him on the NFL level. That's not what I'm saying. When I said might, it was kind of like, you know, maybe there was a black dude in the 1800s or something. I don't know. It's kind of one of those. It's kind of one of those filler words. Something a word that you don't really think about when you say it. So
One of those brain slip words. It's like
yeah, kind of like
mm.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
That's gonna sound funny in playback.
Whatever.
But
But no, I
but
just
this
want to
kind
give a
of
shout
stick.
out to him. But I just want to give a
Oh,
shout out to him. But yeah, go ahead.
definitely. But I kind of want to stick on 'cause you brought up Stetson Bennett. We both kind of brought up how old this guy is. Now he's still not the oldest quarterback to win a national championship. That would just so happen to be a Florida State Seminole who also won the Heisman, who goes by the name of Chris Wenke,
Who was also ass.
who already had a receding hairline at that point. And let's
Yeah.
be 100% honest, that was Peter Warwick's Heisman that he won. Peter Warwick should have won the Heisman in '99.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from with that, but
But I still remember this to this day. And for everyone who's like gonna say, man, that's kind of jacked up, you're gonna judge this man's career like that. Yes, I am. Because Stetson Bennett and Chris Wenke are the same player. You are that much more. You are that much older than the talent around you. You should be mature. You should be balanced. You should be ready to go. Nigga, you're 30.
Can you explain something? Maybe can one of y'all explain something if y'all know? I don't know this. Like this is a genuine question. How has Stetson Bennett been able to play at 25 years old? Like he really should be like in corporate America working a 9 to 5. Like did he get recruited as a high school player?
He did.
So yeah, give
Georgia
me the
wasn't the
timeline.
first school he committed to.
Okay. Okay,
Um,
so who did he commit to and what year was that?
2015. Cause he's the same age as Patrick Mahomes. So they graduated
God
the same year.
damn. You
Yeah,
said he's the
Patrick Mahomes
same
only 25.
age.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is only 25.
But wait, you said he is the same age as Mahomes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. No, Mahomes got to be older than that.
I think Mahomes got to be
Mahomes
like
got,
27, right?
I thought
27.
Mahomes.
There's not Mahomes. Herbert. My bad. Justin Herbert. Herbert.
Okay.
Herbert.
That
It was
makes more
Herbert. Not
sense.
Mahomes, but Herbert. It was Herbert. Because it's 5 quarter. Him, Jalen Hurts, all those boys, same graduating class. That's what it was.
So how did
But
he get all of this eligibility? I know COVID happened. I know that contributed
COVID,
one
you
year.
get a. It's funny because a lot of people don't know this, but you actually get 2 red shirts if it happens. You get a roster red shirt, which typically happens during your freshman year. It's typically the year it happens, and then you have a medical red shirt, which he wound up getting. So his first year he got red shirt. Second year he got a medical red shirt, blew his knee. Third year, I think he played. Fourth year was COVID. Fifth year was last year. 6 years. So yeah, he's been in forever. Been in
Wait.
the 6 years.
Okay, Corey, maybe you know the answer to this question. When a student athlete does all of that, what the fuck do you do about classes?
That is an excellent question.
You don't have to
Like
I
be. You don't have to take classes.
Yeah,
what
After
the
because
whoa
there's
whoa whoa
one.
another
whoa whoa
guy.
whoa whoa time
Mhm,
out time out. So Stetson Bennett his first year he redshirted,
mhm.
and I know when you play football at a big time school like Georgia or wherever or whatever, I know you're not going to school for school. I know you're going to school for football. I know that. But I would assume that, like high school, you have to at least take classes and get grades to be eligible. So if his first year he got redshirted, he was taking freshman classes. His second year he got the medical red shirt. He was taking sophomore classes. His third year was what? Was COVID? Or his fourth year was
Third
COVID?
year was COVID. Hmm.
Third year was COVID. Okay, I'm sure he was taking online classes as a junior. Then fourth year was what?
Fourth year, that was 2021. I know
Was
he
that
played in
last year?
Peach
Was
Bowl and
his
the
fourth
Orange
year?
Bowl.
Was his
That was
fourth year
last year.
last
Yeah,
year?
fourth year
Oh,
last year.
okay, so his fourth year was last year. So I'm assuming that he had senior classes that he was taking. So what the fuck was he doing academically this year?
Chilling. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. He had in 2017 Georgia first stint as a walk on. Didn't take a snap the whole season after a 5-star high school quarterback Justin Fields committed to Georgia. Bennett decided to transfer to Jones County Junior College. Played 12 games, threw 16 touchdowns, 1,800 yards. Was a 3-star prospect heading into his transfer. Then went to Georgia in 2019 as Jake Fromm's backup. Remember him?
Yeah, I remember Jake Fromm.
Mm-hmm.
Bennett had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception on the season. Also had run rushing touchdown. Most notably, he appeared in the SEC championship game when Fromm went down with an injury. Get to 2020, into his junior year, Bennett started as a backup to Dewan Mathis. Remember that guy?
I sure do.
Mathis was named the starter after Jamie Newman, the playing starter, opted out of the season. This was COVID. Bennett became the starter after poor play of Mathis. A few months later, USC transfer JT Daniels. Remember that guy? Took his
Yep.
job.
Mm-hmm.
2021, Bennett began the season as a backup to JT Daniels. And he made his first appearance of the season, his first start of the season was against UAB. So of course he was going to torch him because Daniels had went down with an oblique injury in that game. In that game, Bennett tied the record for most touchdowns in the game by a Georgia quarterback with 5. Bennett also trusted Bennett was trusted with the starting job for the rest of that season, led the Dogs to a 12-0 record, and finished with 29 touchdowns and 7 picks. And also, they lost the SEC title game 41-24 to Bama that year. And he was criticized for the loss, leaving many to think that JT Daniels should have been the starter against Michigan in the Orange Bowl. Despite the loss, Bennett led the Dogs to a victory in the College Football Playoff National Championship game in the rematch against Alabama. So that was last year. And this year, ran it back. So that is how long of a career he's had.
Right. No, I get that. What the reason why I brought up the reason why I brought up the academics, and Corey, I think you kind of heard where I was going. I don't believe that you should be able to have eligibility for football if you can't take classes. Like if you have surpassed your whatever Stetson Bennett's major is, if he has surpassed that paradigm for his major, if he's taken all of his classes, I don't believe you should have eligibility. And so I'm trying to figure out how this man has been in college for damn near 7 years and still is eligible when I know damn well he ain't got 7 years worth of classes that he took.
No.
I'll be honest with you now. It's possible to spread it out.
Yeah, no, but you can't be a part-time.
You just take 4 classes in a semester. Keep in mind, full load was 6. We remember this. We're not too far removed. 6 classes was a full load, right?
Killer, we ain't been in college in over a decade.
I'm just saying.
We old.
Think that is not that. Yeah, we're old by college standards. Yes, but I'm saying we're not too far removed to where it still doesn't, still isn't relatable.
What I remember is 12 credits qualified you as a full-time student.
That's
18 credits was the max you could take in a semester. That's what I remember. And I think to graduate, at least for Winston-Salem State computer science, I believe we needed total 150 credits. That's what
somebody just looked that up big time just then. I heard them kids going.
That's Corey typing.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Corey sound like a secretary.
Corey sound like he slapped the shit out that keyboard, yo. Like
that boy
angry punching them damn
buttons. That man is missing buttons.
But nah. So what I remember is 12 is the minimum. The average that students took was 15 credits, and then 18 credits was the max. By the end of your senior year, to qualify for graduation, we needed to complete 150 credits. That's what I remember. I don't know how you're spreading that out over 7 years.
All right, well, it could be major changes and stuff like that because I changed my major. I wound up there for 6 because I changed my major.
Right. So
this lets you know how late I changed it. I changed it. I was a business major when I crossed.
So what I'm thinking is, in order, and this is gonna be wild if this will happen, and I get it. We're not gonna know. I don't know if Stetson Bennett is ever gonna reveal that, because I know for a fact he worked the system. He had to. That's the only way he got this long. That's the only way he's playing this long. But I don't. It to me, I'm like, the only way he could have pulled it off is if he was undecided for 3 years. And then he finally picked a quote unquote a major, and then that started the 4-year clock. That's the only way that I see it happening. I don't know if y'all see a different way, but if there is a different way, I don't know how he pulled it off, but a damn 30-year-old won the national championship.
Yeah, I think I know how he pulled it off. Maybe some of those junior college credits didn't go over.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I like to your point, Mike. I don't get how it's possible either. Like the logistics of it, like it goes over my head. I don't know, but I know it kills like the red shirt that can stretch to 2 years. I heard the whole entirety with COVID and red shirt, like it can stretch out to 8 years max. Like that's what I heard.
Fuck.
8 years.
Ain't there a dude who played tight end for
Yes, yes.
yeah, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. There was a
He
story that
has
came
not
out
been in
about
college
last
for
week.
8 years.
There's a tight end who's been Mike. I promise you, this dude damn near our age.
Yeah, he like
Like
29. He like 29 or something
I
like
shit
that
you
for
not.
real.
Like bro, if when he graduates, he would have had a lengthy NFL career. Like that's how long he's been playing college football.
Hey, this is a grown man with a family, probably, that's playing against
This
little boys.
motherfucker pays taxes, bro. Like
Dog.
he's sitting there like us waiting on his W-2s to come in the mail right now.
Dog.
That's what this dude is doing.
Yeah.
Golly, yo. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna be honest, man. This whole Stetson Bennett thing and Georgia winning the national championship, like, yo, Georgia are legit champions. I'm not gonna take no credit away from Georgia, but I'm not really giving Stetson Bennett a lot of credit. Like, I've been seeing on like all the news apps that like Stetson Bennett has now become a Georgia legend and some shit like that. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really giving him a ton of credit for winning the game because the game, the speed of the game, it's slower for you than it is for everybody else. Like, y'all remember how we was in college, right? I promise you, if the three of us was to go back to Winston for a
Hmm.
week and go to classes and everything like that, I promise you it would be easier to focus and everything in class as an adult because, like, yo, things slow down for you the older you get. Like, that's why people, talk about wisdom, like getting older and getting wise and everything like that. So, like,
Hmm.
I really can't give Stetson Bennett the credit that all of these news apps been wanting to give him. I really can't. It's really hard for me to do that. It really is. Like, I
Yeah.
understand he still had to go out there and perform, but when stuff when it's kind of like quote unquote steroids. How people feel about steroids in baseball, like
Hmm.
it's almost like you have you're on a higher playing field. You have an advantage because your wisdom and the length that you've been in college has allowed you to see the game completely different than what the opposing quarterback is seeing the game. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yep.
So like I don't know if I can give Stetson Bennett that credit, man.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Like,
I
think
feel you.
about this. Max Duggan 21,
Hmm.
Stetson Bennett 25. Those two quarterbacks, and I know some people might be thinking, oh, that's not that far apart. 21, 20. The difference between 21 years old and 25 years old is a full college term.
It's a massive jump.
Like
Dude,
like like
think about every 4 year gap in your life, how
like
much different you are. From
like
0 to
like think
4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 20. Like, how
like
different are you after 4 years?
and also think about this. If you talk about the average everyday person, by the time they're 25, they could have a bachelor's and a master's degree at 20 by 25. That's the difference between a 21-year-old and a 25-year-old. That's the difference. And so, like, when you talk about the speed of a football game, your wisdom is going to allow you to evolve, and that's going to naturally give you an advantage over Max Duggan. So, like, that, I know Georgia got more talent, which is why I'm not taking no credit away from Georgia, but I can't give Stetson Bennett all of the credit that all these news outlets been giving him.
Hmm. I agree with that.
100%. There's one other thing I do want to say on this topic, and then Corey, you can touch on it, or you can hop to something else. 'Cause I know you're kind of championing the bit right now too. But I still remember reading this article, but and I'm get back on the Chris Winkie thing because these two are fucking comparable to me.
Right.
When the Carolina Panthers drafted Christian Ponder, not Christian Ponder, sweet Jesus. What's that boy name? I just said Chris Winkie. When they drafted Chris Winkie, I still remember reading this article in the Herald Sun, which is the newspaper in Durham, and I'm gonna call them out on this because they thought to actually type out the words that this person said. They said, "We believe we can build a future with Chris Winkie as our starting quarterback." Now, for people who don't know how bad the Carolina Panthers were in 2001, they won one game and lost 15 straight. I'm going to say that one more fucking time. They won one game and lost 15 straight with a 30-year-old rookie quarterback starting. Excuse me for thinking your future ain't about to be jack shit with this old ass man as your quarterback. And I'm looking at it the same way. So if I'm a team right now who needs a quarterback and you want to build a future around him, I'm not going with this guy because he's already 25. I don't even get the 4 buffer years where he get a chance to grow into an actual player. By the time he get there after a season, he should be who the fuck he's gonna be in the league. And I don't think if I'm a building team, I'm gonna take that chance. Now, if I'm a borderline team like Indy, maybe. I mean, they have a fetish for old ass quarterbacks anyway. They can go ahead and give him a run. This is where I am on that. So, Corey, hey, balls in your court. Mike, you got something for me?
Yeah, because you're talking about Stetson Bennett playing in the NFL, right? So, here's my thing. You can't build a team around Stetson Bennett. Like, you cannot build a team around a rookie quarterback who's going into his 26th year of life. You can't do that. A rookie at 26 years old, like, understand right now, Stetson Bennett is 25. He has not touched an NFL football field yet. When I say that, I don't mean literally. I mean he has not come close to playing an NFL game. He is supposed to be in the prime of his professional career right now. His prime is already supposed to have started right now. Like, if quarterbacks, let's say on average, quarterbacks retire or become irrelevant around the age of 34, 35. Would y'all agree?
Yeah, sounds about right.
On average, I'm not talking about like Peyton Manning's and Tom Brady's. I'm talking about you're on the average quarterback, more like Cam Newton.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Okay,
yeah.
So that means right now, if you draft Stetson Bennett, his shelf life is 9 years. You can't build a team around Stetson Bennett. Now, that's not to say that he can't play in the NFL, because again, the game, he can observe the game from a professional level right now because of how old he is. So you might not be able to build a team around him, but if you're a team like Washington, where you have talent on defense and you got talented receivers, and you got 2 talented running backs, and all you need to do is build up that offensive line, you could insert Stetson Bennett into the lineup as a rookie and win some games with him then, because you have all the pieces there already. Like, now, if you're talking about building, if you're talking about like the Texans drafting him, and you gotta slowly build the program, yeah, you're not building around Stetson Bennett. But if Stetson Bennett comes into a situation where like there is already talent there, I think he could do that. I think he could play.
Yeah, I think he could definitely play. Like you said, like the upside, like you can't bank on the upside with him because he's already 25. He'll be 26. So like you can plug him and play him. Like you said, Washington, that's a great example of a good team that you plug him in there, you do some work on the offensive line, and you might be able to do something. Now, it won't be as long as a lot of quarterbacks you would draft, but I think if you got a good coach, you could get some good years out of Stetson Bennett in the NFL.
At least five.
Yeah.
At least till he's 30.
Yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
That's why I brought up a team like Indy, who I know is dumb enough in their front office to make that kind of move.
See,
But
Indy don't
it'll be
Indy don't
done in a
have
smart way.
Indy doesn't have enough outside options though. Stetson Bennett will look horrible in Indy because there's only one option for real, which is what Michael Pittman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, for a guy like Stetson Bennett, because he's that old, you can't waste time with trying to build anything. You have to have an infrastructure that's kind of already in place, and which is why I
San
said a
Fran.
team. Which is why San Fran is a good one.
Yeah.
Washington is a good one. Look, motherfucking, if who the fuck knows what's gonna happen with Aaron Rodgers. Stetson Bennett, I think he could slide in there and he can work with Christian Watson, and they still got Alan Lazard. They at least have guys that are capable. You know what I'm saying? In the AFC, I'm trying to think of a team that's similar to like that Washington San Fran kind of build. Um,
What about Oakland? Derek Carr's out.
Oakland is a good one. Oakland is a good one.
Well,
Or
LA, not LA,
sorry,
Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah, Vegas.
Fucking
Um,
Oakland, bro.
yeah.
Hey, Oakland. I don't give a damn.
But yeah, the Raiders would be a good Stetson Bennett option. As a matter of fact, wasn't Rich Gannon old as shit when he was on the Raiders? Like when he
Rich
first
Gannon was like 77 years old when he started in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers.
I think Rich Gannon was like a old. Let me see, how old was?
40 when he went to the Super Bowl.
No, not when he went to the Super Bowl. When he joined the Raiders.
Oh, he was a Raider for a while. He was a Raider throughout the 90s.
Right. But when did he come into the league? Do you know, like with like his age?
Rich Gannon, I'm about to look him up, but I think he actually came in, normally. He was just there forever. But I can
Okay.
look at his age. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was 22. He was in Minnesota. The fuck is Kansas City? Oh, wow. He actually quarterback for Kansas City. He got to Oakland at 34. Well, damn. Apparently, he was a quarterback in Minnesota, Washington for a year. Didn't play in '94. I think was '94 a shortened year, or some kind of a weird year. '94. Then was in Kansas City for 4 years, and then finished his career in Oakland.
Okay. Okay.
Really only saw the field in Oakland and late in Kansas City, and for a little bit in Minnesota, he was the one.
Yeah. But
He
yeah,
wasn't nothing special.
like Stetson Bennett, I think the Raiders would be a good place for him to go. The thing is, his suitors are going to be very, very limited, and because of his age, I don't know that he's a first or a second round pick. I
I'm gonna say
think,
this for Rich Gannon real quick. He looked like he sells insurance.
yeah, he does. He looked like it looked like the Affleck man.
Yeah.
But
Like he's in that emu, and Doug. He's an and Doug ass nigga. That's what he is.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
since we talking about fictional characters, y'all know who Stetson Bennett I feel like is going to end up being.
Oh God.
Who?
Take a guess. I'll give y'all one guess apiece.
You said
What's the
characters, right?
genre?
So not like a real life person.
Not like a real life person. This is a
Damn,
character in a
okay.
movie. I feel like Stetson Bennett is going to be just like. I feel like his career is going to be just like this guy. And then when I say the name, y'all will understand what I mean about how you can't how he has to come into a perfect situation.
And we're talking actor.
Yes, we're talking about a character, like a character in a movie.
Oh,
What's that dude in Stranger Things? He's the brother. He's the older brother.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You
I
barked
forgot
up the
his
wrong
name.
tree.
that's
I ain't
what's
never
that
seen Stranger Things.
black dude, right?
No,
Oh
not
no,
the
no,
black one.
the older brother to Will's older brother.
Yeah. What was his name? Damn, I forgot his name. But Kill, you know who I'm talking about.
So yeah, I know who you're talking about. Though.
Damn, what's his name?
Everybody, it's the dude that was smoking weed the entire last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, what is his
Worked at
name?
the pizza place and
Right, exactly. Yeah. What was his name?
Will's brother's name. Hold on, give me a second. Will's brother's name.
It's gonna think you talking about Will Smith.
Damn.
From Stranger Things. There we go. See, that's the second option. Jonathan Byers.
Jonathan. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Jonathan Byers ass.
I,
Nigga.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe y'all right. I don't get that reference. I've never seen Stranger Things, but
Rebo Uwawa ass nigga.
all right, Killer. Who do you think I'm about to say set? Who do you think I'm about to say Stetson Bennett's career is gonna be like?
Damn. Forrest Gump ass nigga.
Nope. Shane Falco from The Replacements.
Yo, that's one of my favorite movies, bro.
Shane Falco. To
that's my
me, that is Stetson Bennett. Shane Falco. Shane Falco. That is he's a guy who has to come into the perfect situation. It has to be, he has to already have talent there. Now, in the movie The Replacements, like the whole team was on strike or whatever. You know, but they brought in good enough talent. That's the point that I'm saying about Stetson Bennett. He is Shane Falco. He is Shane Falco type dude.
That's a good comparison. That's a good comp.
That's really a good one.
Yeah.
Shoot, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like Boobie Miles. Who gonna blame my football? Yo, like from a dude who had a knee injury that kind of derailed any athletic endeavors. I always laugh when I see that part of the movie, and normally I'm like, ah, damn. But
Hey,
now
Killer.
I'm like, bro, that shit funny.
Hey, Killer, you got pen and paper with you right now?
I got a tablet and a phone.
You got Discord open?
Yes, I do.
Open your tab. Open your tab, your notes tab.
Oh, I get to put something there.
Yeah, you need to put something in there. I'm about to tell you what to put in there.
All right.
Put this topic for them summer months when during the off season of for basketball and football. Put this topic in there. Greatest sports movies. Just save that. We're gonna save that topic for the summer months when it ain't too much going on in sports.
I'm keeping butt with you.
Don't you dare! Don't say nothing.
I'm looking forward to the summer months.
Yeah. Hey, them
like
summer months.
Child, I can't wait for summer.
Hey, them summer months. Them summer episodes about to be wild.
Shoot,
Hell yeah, they are. I'll tell you what I'm not looking forward to in the summer months is going to work because, like I said, I do insulation. If you ain't been up in the attic before, bro, and have to,
it get hot as hell.
Yeah,
bro.
Man.
I was in that motherfucker. It looked like someone was just like pouring water bottles on me continually, bro. I was in that bit drenched. And it's the wintertime. In the summer, I promise you, I'm gonna lose like 14 pounds a week. People gonna think I'm on coke or something, bro. That shit gonna be terrible.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's gotta be rough.
Corey.
Yeah.
I think Killer was trying to pass it to you, and I kind of interrupted. I know we we was talking about it before we started the recording about how you kind of got some stuff on your brain that you've been,
Man, if what I'm reading and hearing is true, I'm gonna echo a sentiment that another fellow wrestling fan had, which is shit's about to hit the fan in WWE. Because as I put in the Discord earlier today, Stephanie McMahon, daughter of Vince McMahon, she resigned as co-CEO of WWE.
And so now Khan is the CEO, is the sole CEO, right?
Correct. Yeah. Now, if you remember, Stephanie stepped down earlier this year, or earlier 2022. And a lot of people figured that had to do with the upcoming Vince McMahon scandal, as we've read about that the Wall Street Journal has reported. Now, I think she has stepped down for a completely different reason. So according to sources, and I'm going to give credit, this writer, his name is Steven Muehlhausen. He's a long time MMA reporter. Like he's been reporting on UFC, MMA for years, and he's also a pro wrestling reporter. He reports sources. WWE has been sold to Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. The company will go back to being private. Unknown if Vince McMahon will return to head of creative, but it is expected by some people. Now, I am not going to come on this show, this podcast, and disparage the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. All I will say is anyone who is interested, if you're not familiar with the Saudi Arabian government, Saudi Arabian politics, please Google. And you may understand why some people who currently work for WWE, if this is true, are feeling very, very uneasy right now. And this could become problematic on so many levels. And go ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. I don't know nothing about Saudi Arabian government. So get me hip. What's the problem?
So there's certain religious beliefs
Such
that one
as
might share that don't align with Saudi Arabia. Okay, so I'll give you one example. The Saudi Arabian government, they frown upon the Islamic religion.
Uh-huh.
One of WWE's current highest profile performers is I believe, has of Islamic faith, Sami Zayn. And when WWE goes to Saudi Arabia for when they do these shows, like quarterly shows in Saudi Arabia, they've been doing since 2016 or 17. Not everybody goes. And it's not a case that everybody doesn't go because they don't want to go. Like some people don't go because they legit don't want to because they have different beliefs. But also some people don't go because they literally can't go out of fear for their safety. Sami Zayn being one of them. Women being not all women, certain women being none, especially. And if you are a person who is an advocate or is a member of the LGBTQIA plus, that can become problematic. And so this is not a case of this is more of a case of morals, values, beliefs, and in some and I'll say in some instances fear. This is not like Saudi Arabia. They are, they produce a lot of things. Obviously, they bring a lot of shows, a lot of entertainment to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Right. And it's not foreign for, them like to bring, like, a lot of people, a lot of entertainers have gone to Saudi Arabia and things like that. But if you're someone who like I said, it comes down to morals, values, and beliefs. This could be again, if this is true, if this turns out to be true, this can be very problematic for a lot of people who's currently on the WWE roster. And also certain like fans. Like I am a big wrestling fan. I have been my whole life. And it will be tough. Like as I sit here right now, it would be tough to sit and watch WWE the same way that I always have. Again, not talking about storylines or wrestling matches or who wins and loses. Like from that standpoint, that's not relevant. But in terms of what I believe, it would be tough. Like I'm not gonna lie and say I can just ignore it. It would be very tough. And so
okay. Hypothetically speaking, let's say that this transition already happened and now the Saudi Arabian government or whoever, that's what you said, right? The government?
it's the Saudi Arabia's public investment fund.
Okay, so let's say they have officially bought WWE. Now they own WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would be your expectation as far as what happens to the key contributors to the WWE? So like I'm not talking about the executive Triple H, but like the wrestler Triple H, the one who is kind of respected wrestler of everybody on the roster? What happens to him? What happens to the Charlotte Flairs, and what happens to the Roman Reigns? Like are they still touring all over the US, or are they now, filming shows according to Saudi Arabian time zones? Like what is the impact? What is the expected impact if something like that happens across the board?
So my best guess, without knowing any of the like the intricacies of it, my best guess is this deal wouldn't go through if the current infrastructure of like of how WWE tours and how they produce their content. I would be shocked if that doesn't remain the same as it is. I could see one big difference being maybe they tour, maybe they do more shows in Saudi Arabia because I believe they do. I believe they do four a year, three or four a year as we stand right now. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that goes up to maybe five or six or something like that. Like special shows. But I think the current infrastructure of WWE will remain the same. Like I think that will be like put in the contract. And so like I don't think it's going to be a case of where WWE is going to become a primarily Saudi Arabian company in terms of what times it comes on, how it's produced, how the content is pushed out. I think that will remain the same. It's just going to be owned by Saudi Arabia. Um, I think again, this is going to come like I mentioned the Sami Zayn example. Like that's one, but like it's also certainly possible that somebody else, other people who are like Kevin Owens, for example. Kevin Owens is best friends with Sami Zayn. Like you can imagine Kevin Owens like, oh, this is not good for Sami. I'm not. I want out. I'm not gonna partake in this if my best
Mhm.
friend also can't. So like it's going to be a domino effect, and like I can imagine a lot of performers are going to be uncomfortable. I can't say who specifically, other than people who have, like in the past, have been left off the Saudi Arabian shows or who have just chosen not to go to the Saudi Arabian shows. Um, it'll, it's, it's definitely going to make things extremely uneasy, especially if Vince McMahon is back in creative control. Because you gotta understand, like, take away like the Stephanie McMahon character that you see on TV and the Triple H character you see on TV, like backstage behind the scenes, both of those people are like extremely well liked by the talent. Like they love Triple H and Stephanie.
Right.
And with Stephanie gone, well, first of all, they said with Stephanie gone, that was a big hit to morale. And with Vince coming back, that was another big hit to morale. So now, if you are a contracted WWE performer, you're thinking, what the hell is happening? Like, we go from Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan to now Vince is back, and now potentially the company's being sold to Saudi Arabia, where a lot of performers can't go to Saudi Arabia. A lot of performers they don't want to deal with Saudi Arabia. Like, what the hell is happening? Like, it's not a good feeling right now as a company. One would imagine. So I
Oh,
don't know like what it's gonna look like, but yeah.
so I got a couple hot takes.
Mhm.
I got a couple hot takes. First one is, if Saudi Arabia ends up taking control of the WWE, you mark my words, this will be the evolution of AEW, because everybody will jump ship and go to AEW. Everybody will jump ship. Um, when I say everybody, I'm talking about I'm talking about Sami Zayn. I'm talking about Kevin Owens. I'm talking about like I even some of the legends, even some of the legends, I think would try to somehow be affiliated with AEW,
Mhm.
including two of the biggest draws the WWE has ever had. If you catch my drift, it's my drift.
Yeah.
My second, it's not really a hot take, but this is my opinion. The best way for WWE to be saved, the best way, and I know people gonna say I'm biased or whatever the fuck, but the best way, there is one man who can afford it, and he also just so happens to now own the XFL.
Rock.
Sell the WWE to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That is a company that is near and dear to his family. So you know it's going to be well taken care of. I don't think there will be any problems on the roster with him owning the company from a legal standpoint. I think it will allow the WWE to remain in operations the way that it is. Um, you know, I don't think The Rock is gonna come back and be like this Vince McMahon type of dude or nothing like that. Um, I even think if you sell the company to The Rock, I think that there is a place for Stephanie McMahon to be the CEO again. I really believe that. Um, the Dwayne Johnson and the McMahons had like their relationship is pretty much has always been intact. Pretty much. I mean, that is the best thing that I think the WWE can do. And the reason why it has to be Dwayne The Rock Johnson is because nobody, I mean nobody. I had to use that rock line. But yeah, nobody that is a former wrestler for the WWE can afford that company except for Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I think his net worth is like $500 million. Like it's something crazy. Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson last year, I think was like the highest grossing actor.
Yeah.
Let me look it up right now. Let me look it up. Net worth. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's net worth is $800 million. It is 200 million away from 1 billion. Just sell the company to that man. Keep and then everything can stay the same. So that would if I was Vince, I would be calling his phone right now. Hey, look, how much how much do you think is fair for you to take this over?
Yeah.
That is the best solution that I have. I mean, look at all of the legendary wrestlers. Stone Cold can't afford the WWE. Let's be real. The Undertaker can't afford the WWE. Kane can't afford it. Batista, who's another actor, wrestler turned actor, can't afford it. John Cena can't afford it. Orton can't afford it. Jerry Lawler and the other commentator, they can't afford it. Shit. Triple H,
JR. You talking about JR?
yeah, JR.
Yeah.
Triple H, he can't afford it. The only one that can afford it is Dwayne Johnson. I like if it was me, yeah, Triple H's net worth is 150 million. The Rock's is 800. So like if it was me, Vince already sold The Rock the XFL. Just sell him the company. Just let him take over. Then everything that Vince did stays intact. And the WWE is not at risk for losing rosters or none of that. You know what I'm saying? or else AEW is going to take over as the standard
Premier.
for as the premier standard for wrestling domestically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just, gosh, man.
And here's the fucked up part. I said today, let me get back into wrestling because January is the official start of what I like to call wrestling season, because from January to April everything is building up to WrestleMania. So I literally said to myself today, I'm about to start watching wrestling consistently, like every Monday and shit. So I know what the fuck is going on for when WrestleMania happens. And then you tell me this shit.
Yeah, this
Rumble's
is
in November, right?
No,
January.
the Rumble's
Rumble's
this
that's right. Rumble's in January. That's right. It goes Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania.
Hmm.
WrestleMania is in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, they typically don't do a March pay-per-view, do they?
No, like it's sometimes WrestleMania like late March, early April, but typically March is pretty much open for the most part.
So are we saying that this might be the last WrestleMania as we know it?
That's what it sounds like to me.
It's possible. I mean, shoot, this might be the last WWE as we know it. Like, because
If that
also here's what you
if
got to
that
remember:
oh,
if
go
they
ahead.
go private again, that means Vince can do whatever the hell he wants. He doesn't have to answer to any shareholders. He doesn't have to answer to anybody. That's a scary thought. It's 77-year-old Vince McMahon making creative decisions.
Hold on, wait. Was the WWE private during the Attitude Era?
It was
No.
private. It was private up until 1999. Then they went public.
So that means no.
Mm.
Because the Attitude Era at its peak, because right around 99, 2000, that was going into the Ruthless Aggression, Kurt Angle carrying everything era.
Mhm.
So I was going into that. Attitude is all 90s. All right, we're talking DX, Stone Cold, the Corporation, Ministry. That's all in the 90s.
The Attitude Era is from 97 to 2002. And Corey, you're saying that it was not public during that time.
So it was public. I forget the exact month. I want to say October or November of 99 was when they first went public. Because I remember Triple H was there, The Rock was there, China was there, Kurt Angle was there. I think Stone Cold was there too. Okay, yeah. So it was definitely October, November of 99. That's when they first went public. So that was right around the time Austin went out. He went out for a year for his neck surgery, and then it was like Triple H and The Rock kind of like spearheading the company up to that time. So yeah, so like they primarily went public off the rise of Steve Austin in mid to late 97, all through the formation of like DX and The Rock and like that late 99 period. That's when they could have literally afford, because they were making money hand over fist, and they could literally afford to go public at that time. So yeah.
Mm. Well, shit. Well, I'm gonna ask y'all, in your gut, what do you think? What do y'all think gonna happen?
I think AEW is going to wind up taking over. It's going to take a few years, but I think they're going to get there.
I think you're gonna see, because again, like I said from the start, I think this is gonna fall into a lot of people's morals and values, and like your belief system and all that. And I can see a lot of fans saying, shoot, I can't watch this. Let me check out let me see what AEW is going on. I can see a lot of performers migrating to AEW, as you talked about, Mike. I can see AEW, due to this, if this happens, I can see AEW having a bigger foothold in the wrestling industry from this point moving forward.
But
Uh,
do you think Saudi Arabia is going to get it? I understand what the talk is, but
yeah.
do you think that, like, if the fans, for example, are so disgusted with the news and there's like a lot of backlash from the fans, if there's a lot of backlash from the roster, Do you think that Saudi Arabia is still going to get it?
Right now, honestly, I would have to say yes, because
Wow.
I'm looking at it from this standpoint. If your daughter comes to you and say, "Dad, this is not a good look. I don't like this for this reason, this reason, this reason," and you, and by all intents and purposes, you continue to move forward, and your daughter steps down from the company where she was CEO of a company that you built, I think to me that is very telling. That's very telling to me. And so I think, like, and also like Vince McMahon, he's not a dumb person, right? He's a highly intelligent person. So I'm sure he's weighed the pros and the cons of all of this. But at the end of the day, man, that oil money, I guess that oil money. It's, I mean, shoot, it's why they've done business with Saudi Arabia for all these years thus far. I mean, money talks, and shoot, I mean, I think even with the backlash, Vince McMahon, he's not one to back down. He's I could see it still pushing forward if this indeed is what is going on, as sources say.
And all of this is stemming from Vince McMahon being investigated and having like alleged sexual scandals and shit. This is all what this is coming from.
So I think that is completely separate. Like I think so. I think the sale was going to happen eventually, regardless. I just think the McMahon allegations was just something completely separate that also in some ways ties into this. But I think the sale was going to happen, whether it was to Saudi Arabia or whomever. I think the sale of WWE was going to happen eventually. I
See
don't know
to
if it would happen then, now, or later.
see to me it would have made sense. Like Vince, just give the company to your kids. Like that's your legacy. Like just give the company to your kid. It's almost like a house. Like I don't ever plan on selling any house that I ever own. I'm gonna give it to my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna give it to them. So like why I don't understand why Vince wouldn't give what he built to his kids so it could keep going.
Well, you also got to remember too, Vince, like obviously he's a dad, but he's also a ruthless businessman. If you remember, I don't know if y'all know this, but Shane left WWE originally in January 1st, 2010. The reason he left is because Vince didn't think Shane had the business acumen to potentially run the WWE. So Shane said, "Okay, even though I'm Vince's son, I have a ceiling here." Vince, from a business standpoint, Vince chose Stephanie over Shane. That's why Shane left. And now I can see in Vince's mind thinking, "Yes, Stephanie, I would love to have you. I would love for you to have this company, but I believe if we don't sell, you won't make the company as much money as we could potentially earn by selling it to Saudi Arabia." Like I think from Vince's standpoint, he could say, "You will thank me even if I'm dead and gone. You will thank me for making this move, because not only are my grandkids going to be set for life, my great grandkids, your great grandkids, like the whole family would be set for life from this one sale." I can see Vince thinking about it from that standpoint, from just a pure wealth standpoint, of like the family is going to be good. The family is going to be more well off if we make this sale than if I hand you the reins to the company. I think that could potentially be where his mindset is.
Mm.
Like that's the only thing that would make any type of logical sense to me. Like that's literally the only thing. It's Vince thinks that they will be more well off if they sell than versus if he hands them the reins. That like that's the only thing. That's the only thing I could potentially think about. And also too, what makes sense. Nick Khan being hired. Remember, Nick Khan was a super agent, right? I don't think you bring him in to become CEO of your company if you're not going to eventually facilitate a sale. Like he is there. He is there because like Nick Khan don't know nothing about running a
Is
wrestling
he
company.
Saudi Arabian?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Like you're not bringing in him. You're not bringing in that guy to run a wrestling business. You're bringing him in to facilitate deals. And I think the end game for hiring Nick Khan and eventually making him CEO was to eventually sell the company. Like that also adds up to me. Like that's why he's there to make this deal. Like Nick Khan is like like one of the biggest agents in the media world, like period, like ever. Like he's one of those dudes. You don't bring in somebody like that if your intention isn't to sell down the road. And I can see Nick Khan also getting a big chunk of that money if this indeed happens. And so yeah, it's a I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is a scary time. Like, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to watch in good conscience, to be honest with you. I
You
honestly, I don't know
you
a lot of
you
things
would
right now.
move right along to AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I watch AEW still, but I mean, like the enjoyment. I don't know if I would enjoy watching WWE anymore if this does happen. Like that, like again, that's just my personal feeling. Like obviously, not everybody will feel the same way, which I totally get. I respect, but for me, it would not be the same. Like I like in good conscience. Like again, I keep coming back to your morals, your values, and your beliefs. Some people let money overtake their morals, their values, and beliefs. Some people don't. I personally I don't because I gotta look at myself in the mirror every day, and there's just certain things I will and will not do. You know, this is I like this is going to be tough, and I think it's going to be tough for a lot of people, and worse for people who are currently contracted by WWE right now. Again, if this indeed does happen, but yeah, this is I don't know, man. This is tough, very tough.
It looks
You
like
know,
I'm gonna have to get myself more acquainted with AEW because
John Moxley and crew.
no, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck that guy. No, I didn't say anything about getting acquainted with Moxley. Fuck that guy. But
I'm gonna get Mike a Mox T-shirt for his birthday.
hell nah, hell
Now, what I'm
nah,
gonna do, I'm gonna find him that toy I put in the Discord. I'm gonna find you that John Moxley toy, and I'm gonna send it shit.
hell nah. Hey, Killer. I'm about to
Send it
give you
in August.
Ki- Killer. I'm about to give you a hell of a bridge. I'm about to give you a hell of a bridge right now, Corey. You said you would rather you said you would give me a Moxley T-shirt for my birthday.
Hmm.
To me, that's the equivalent of somebody giving me some Commanders gear.
Oh wow.
Killer, Killer. I just gave you a bridge.
You did, and I'm gonna walk right over that motherfucker because
Go ahead.
I actually watched that game with my coaching staff.
Yep.
And dude, Washington was more physical than Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
They were more patient than Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
They got out coached. They
So it
were more
seems.
aggressive
So it seems.
in that particular matchup. Now,
So it
I did
seems.
see an interesting graphic, and I had to go and check the stats on the graphic, and it turned out to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas opened up their season, lost a game, won 4 in a row. Then lost a game, won 2 in a row.
Yep.
Lost a game, won
Every
four in
time
a
we've
row.
lost a game, we went on the streak.
Yeah, nah, it's not just that, but it's been 4-2, 4-2, 4-2.
Right.
Now
If
you're due for a four, and guess what starts it off? So I'm not saying anything by it. I just found that pattern to be extremely, extremely intriguing.
it is very intriguing. Corey, I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about this game first, because yeah, y'all aren't y'all yeah, never mind.
So to me, I watched this game and I kind of laughed because so Mike and I talked about one of the things we talked about, especially in the Discord, was sitting the starters. And we shouldn't play this game.
We've
You
been
know,
talking about this for 3 weeks.
yeah. but specifically this game. Okay, I'm harping on this because I'm gonna make my point. But like, Mike was saying, we shouldn't play these starters. Like, don't risk it. No, we don't have but such and such a chance to potentially get the 1 seed, and this got to fall a certain way if we get the 2 seed. And I was sitting in there like, man, you got a chance. Shout out to L, by the way. L was saying, man, no, you got a chance. This could happen. You play your starters. This, that, and the third. What's funny to me is that the Cowboys players played like they didn't want to play. Like the Cowboys players played like they were clearly looking towards the playoff game and not Washington. Like the effort wasn't there. The sense of urgency was non-existent. We looked ill-prepared. We looked lackadaisical. We looked like we were going through the motions. Like, it felt like nobody from Dallas really put their best foot forward and really tried to win the game. Because there's so many things that happened in that game. Like, we critique the Cowboys pretty much on a weekly basis on the show. But there's so many things that happened in that game that was like so uncharacteristic of what we've done this season. Like, just mental lapses and just like I said, unfocused, undisciplined, no sense of urgency. Like, we clearly played like a team that was either unprepared or was just like, you know what? It's Washington. They're out of the playoffs. We really, we don't want to get ourselves hurt, even though Philly's playing a divisional game against the Giants.
Giants
Yeah, like, you know what? Let's just kind of like let's save ourselves. Let's save our real effort for Tampa. Yeah. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Once, if I'm a player and I just heard that New York won't gonna play their starters, I knew they want a chance in hell of New York's backups beating anybody who plays football in Philadelphia. So I would have just rested my starters because of that little bit of information. That would have been enough for me. Once I knew that New York was like, yeah, these guys, they're not playing. Okay, New York ain't gonna win this game. I don't give a damn how well they play. So knowing that, I would have sat them on that. That's just kind of how I am in that matchup. Because I went over all the playoff scenarios. Like, if Dallas wins and San Francisco loses and Philly loses, they get the 1. And I was looking over all that. I was like, honestly, the best path for the Cowboys to win a playoff game and make moves is to go into 5, play Tampa, and pray to God that somebody else upsets. Pray to God that no one upsets, so you get Philly again.
Real quick, I went to go get some water. I'm back now. Corey, now sum up what you were saying, because I had to leave in the middle of what you were saying. Just sum it up for me so I make sure I don't miss anything. Me and you were talking. I said we should rest the players and shit like that. And what else?
Basically, I was saying that the team played like they didn't want to play, that they wanted to rest. Because basically I was saying, like, the Cowboys team that we saw on Sunday, like, that's not the real Cowboys. Like, you can take the game that we played on Sunday and throw it in the trash, because
right,
there was no effort. Like, we were unfocused. We were going through the motions. Like, we literally played like we really didn't want to play. Like we didn't, like, it was like, okay, it's Washington. They like, okay, let's just kind of go through the motions. That's pretty much the gist, the summary of it for the most part.
Okay. I'm glad you said that, because see, a lot of people are gonna sit here. I'm just gonna lay it out. I'm just gonna lay it out for you, for not for y'all, but because I'm pretty sure you know how this goes. But for whoever's listening, I'm just gonna lay it out for you. What's gonna happen is the Cowboys played a shitty game to the Commanders, where they lost to a third string quarterback, and everybody's gonna talk about how the Cowboys are pretenders and how Cowboy fans should be worried for the playoffs and how we got Brady coming up. Sorry, and how, yeah, The Cowboys the Cowboys are probably gonna lose again, and should McCarthy be fired if they lose, and blah 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 blah. That's gonna be the whole shit. That's gonna be the whole talk all week. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't worried one bit. When I say I ain't worried, I'm not talking about the Cowboys winning the playoff game against Tampa. That's not what I'm saying. When I say I'm not worried, I'm talking about I'm not worried about them playing. I'm This game did not matter. The Giants the Giants on Friday announced that they were going to rest their starters. At that point right there, when you knew Hurts was coming back, at that point right there, there's no reason to really play. I've been saying this for 3 weeks. You're locked in as the 5, go in as the 5. There's no reason to play hard anymore. There's no reason to take risk. There's no reason to get your starters hurt. This game, the reason why you can throw it in the trash is because this game was used to just try shit. That's literally all this game was. The Cowboys Commanders game. That's all this game was. It was just used to try shit. I'm going to tell you how it was just used to try shit. Number one, when is the last time you have ever seen Dak Prescott almost get picked off and then go to the same dude on the same route the very next play? He's never done that. No starting quarterback does that. No starting quarterback does that. That's number one. Number two, when's the last time you've seen Tony Pollard line up on a goal line to get to push Dak Prescott in the end zone? When's the last time y'all have seen that happen? Never, because it never happens. Tony Pollard is not a 4th and 1, 3rd and 1 goal line. That's not Tony Pollard. You're not putting him in the running back slot to give your quarterback a push. You know who you're putting back there? You're putting Zeke back there. Why? Because Zeke is way more powerful than Tony Pollard. The Cowboys were just trying shit. They were really just trying shit. And honestly, I'm glad that the Cowboys, I'm glad that this game was what it was, because y'all know how the Cowboys are, and y'all know how I am about the Cowboys. That whole L has that saying, the Cowboys will do Cowboys things. The way to me, the way you can delay the quote unquote Cowboys things from happening, just lose a game. Lose a game before you get to the playoffs. In the NFL, the way it's designed, everybody is due for a loss. And it really depends on when it's going to come. If y'all get what I'm saying. Everybody is due for a loss, and it really depends on when it's going to come. The Patriots went 16-0 during the regular season. They went 17-0, then they went 18-0. They was due for a loss. It came in the Super Bowl when they was trying to go 19-0. They was due for a loss. My thing is, get the loss over with right now when it don't matter. Get the loss over with. So now, going into next week, the loss that would have been our doom, we have gotten that out the way. Now, psychologically, we have a legitimate chance at beating Tampa Bay. That is how I see it. That's just that there's some things with sports in life where like there's like a aura around circumstances. And me, I know my team. If we would have, Corey, tell me what, if we would have won this game, let's say we would have played our asses off, and let's say we would have blown them out and won this game 40-14. What do you think would have happened next week?
Oh, you think we would get our butts whipped against Tampa in the playoffs?
Oh hell yeah! Because anytime the media starts talking good about the Cowboys, what the hell happens? We fucking blow it. The Cowboys got this thing where we are allergic to media prosperity. Whenever the media start giving us credit, we lose. So me, I'm like, get the loss out the way now. Get the loss out the way now. Let everybody talk their shit this week. And then be mad that you came out the way that you came out. Be mad that you played the way that you played, and take your frustration out on Tampa Bay. That's my theory. And if I'm Dan Quinn, I know Denver want to interview him to be their next head coach and shit, just like they did last year. They probably regret not hiring him, which is why they want to hire him now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If I'm Dan Quinn, I'm blitzing against the Bucks. I'm blitzing all night. Y'all remember that scene and remember the Titans when the refs was cheating, and then when Yost came out there and told a ref, he said something to the extent of, I don't you call this game fair, I don't care. He said, you call this game fair, I'll go to the papers. I don't care if I go down with you. And then after that, the rest started calling the game fair, and Yost, he told the defense, he was like, "You blitz all night. You make them remember the night that they played the Titans." Y'all remember that scene?
Mm-hmm.
That's if
Hell
I'm
yeah.
Dan Quinn. If I'm
You
Dan
remember the
Quinn,
night they played the Titans.
exactly. If I'm Dan Quinn, that's what I'm doing. Tom Brady, a statue. He can't move. You blitz all night. All night.
That's a
Blitz.
bad O line too.
Horrible O line, blitz all night.
That's
That
why I said that's a bad, good football
you
team in the beginning
you
of the year.
you make that ball come out in 1.2 seconds. I'm gonna also tell you how I know the Cowboys weren't trying to win. Terry McLaurin, y'all know historically he doesn't have good games against the Cowboys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know whenever Washington plays the Cowboys, y'all realize on McLaurin, Diggs usually travels with him all game.
Miller was on his ass every time he caught a big ball.
His name wasn't even Miller. His name was Mullen. This dude is like seventh string. This dude was brought up from the practice squad for this game to cover Terry McLaurin. He has never played against professionals.
My man came out there, got a Madden rating, got toasted.
This
and
man
got a check.
this man came into the game with a Madden rating of 43.
I think 45 is the lowest you can go, but that's even
Man,
more
what?
disrespectful.
No, 43. 43. He's not
Nah,
worthy
bro.
of the
You gotta hit him
lowest
with
Madden.
the 2K ratings. Remember, 2K went from like 1 to 100. This dude's a solid 32.
You feel me? Like, yo, that's the dude that the Cowboys wanted covering Terry McLaurin. The Cowboys ain't try. Cowboys ain't try. They just what they didn't. They want Diggs shadowing McLaurin, so Diggs would end up popping a hamstring or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody knew this game is Washington's Super Bowl. They have to beat
Okay.
Dallas. Like, you know what I'm
You
saying?
know what? I'm glad you
Yep.
said that. Mike, I hate to cut you off, but I'm glad you said that. All right, so I was at the bar. Like I said, I was at the bar with my coaches after we left this All-Star game practice. Was like, yo, you trying to watch the game? Like, yeah, let's go watch the game. So we went and watched the game, and some of the guys on the staff are Washington fans, some are Dallas fans, and you got my black ass. So at the Carolina Ale House, there was like it was split Cowboys and Tutties. It was split.
Tutties.
Yeah, they're the Washington Tutties in my eye. I will never call them the Commanders. They're the Washington Tutties. So I'm watching that, and I heard them say, and this lets me like after this was verbalized by Washington fans, I lost all respect for that franchise, like
Oh, they
completely.
they say this is their
When
Super
they
Bowl.
said that, they're like, yeah, beating the Cowboys, that's our Super Bowl. I was like, that's why y'all ain't gonna be shit.
Facts.
Like I immediately got pissed because I was like, dude, I love it when we beat Baltimore. But if we lose to them fuckers twice and host the Lombardi, that's my fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah. So,
I
but so
mean,
yeah,
don't get me
this
wrong. I like it when we beat New England. It felt really good when we did it for the first time in damn near 20 years. But I'm not gonna sit here and hang my we could lose every other game. We beat them. I don't give a fuck.
yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Like Washington, look, this is
Washington
what
is
I
the NC
this is
State of that division.
no killer. I promise you. I lied to you not. Corey, I don't know how you feel, but as a child that's a fan of the Cowboys, I really could not stand Washington because everybody where I'm from, you know what I mean? There was Washington Redskin everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as a kid, the Washington Dallas rivalry meant a whole lot. As I got older and I started like paying attention to like football in detail, I have realized the Washington Dallas rivalry is only a rivalry for Washington. It is the Dallas and Philly rivalry that is the bloodbath. Like the
I look at
Philadelphia
Dallas, Philly, Dallas, New York
the
when I
the
think of that division.
the Dallas Philly
And Philly, New York.
rivalry. Like the Dallas Philly rivalry is like Philly hates us. We hate them. We trying to beat the shit out of them. They trying to beat the shit out of us. We are polar opposites. Philly is all gritty and dirty and grimy and shit. And Dallas is the
Ashy.
glitz. And Dallas is the glitz and glamour and all of that shit. Like it would like
Cocoa butter lotion.
you know like Philly fans like to fight their own players.
Nigga, they
Dallas
booed
fans
Santa
like
Claus.
yeah. Philly fans like to fight their own players. Dallas fans like to fight Philly fans. Like it's just it like no killer. I'm telling you, dog. As a grown adult who is so in tune with football and who is from Washington D.C., I'm telling you that Washington Dallas rivalry is one sided. Dallas fans don't give a fuck about Washington. I have heard this out of the mouths of fans from Dallas. They don't care nothing about Washington. It is motherfucking Philly. And
You know what
so,
that reminds me of? Like on some real. I like when you were talking just then. I was thinking, throughout my life, I don't remember any key moments in the rivalry or so-called rivalry between Washington and Dallas that really stands out. Like I look at NFC East rivalries. I look Cowboys, Eagles, the matchups, the TO games, um, and also the games against New York, how consequential those were. The playoff games against both of those franchises, the games that means a winner gets in. I don't remember the last time Washington played a winner gets in kind of a game. I think it was already pretty much a done deal by the time they locked up the division that year because y'all were down. Yeah, it was the year that everyone got hurt for y'all, and then New York was trash and Philly was trash. So it was like a foregone conclusion that Washington was going to win the division that year. But looking at them just like over the history, the winner get in game was always between y'all and Philly, or y'all in New York, or New York and Philly. And then I think
yeah,
about the moments. I can remember Philly New York games. I can call out moments. I remember New York Dallas games. I can call out moments. I
yeah,
remember watching Cowboys Eagles. I remember watching those. I can call out moments. I don't
yeah.
remember the last
It's
consequential regular season football game for the Washington football team. I
it's
don't.
it's one of those things. It's one of those things. And Corey, I'm gonna let you jump in right after I say this, but it's one of those things where like as a Cowboys fan from DC, right? I always wanted to beat Washington because my mom is a Washington fan. L is a Washington fan. I wanted to beat Washington because of the people that I knew that were Washington fans. It was bragging rights that I could have over them, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't care nothing about bragging rights. I want to beat Philly. Why? Because I hate Philly. I hate Philadelphia, the city. I think it's dirty, gritty, and grimy. I hate the Philadelphia 76ers, except for Allen Iverson. I hate the Eagles. I hate the fact that Philadelphia be fighting for no damn reason. I I am the guy. I am the guy who will willingly go to a Philly Cowboys game in Philly with my Cowboys jersey and hope to God somebody step in front of me and try to fight me. I welcome it. Please let that happen. Like I am the guy. If I could, if I could piss on a city right after New York, I would piss on Philly.
Oh Lord.
I'm dead serious.
You know what's wild,
I'm
bro?
no
I
no
can
no no
honestly
no
agree
because
with
I'm
everything you
telling you
said in the last three sentences.
I can't stand motherfucking dirt. And along the East Coast, there are three cities that are just gritty and grimy, and I can't stand being in them. New York, Philadelphia, and Baltimore.
Yeah,
Fuck all
Baltimore's dirty.
three of them. Fuck all three of them cities. Fuck all three of them. Like I'm telling you, I don't care nothing about that Washington series. I don't care nothing about that Washington rivalry at all. Don't care nothing about it. The only thing that will make me care about it is if Washington. I want to beat Washington because if Washington wins, I gotta hear from motherfuckers like Phil talk delusional.
Mike, let me ask you this question. Is it
Yeah,
possible, because I thought about this too. Is
yeah.
it possible that one of the reasons you like the Washington rivalry doesn't hit for you like you used to is because like by and large, I'd say for at least the last I'll say 15 years for the most part, give or take, last 15 years or so, like the Washington teams just haven't been up to par with like Dallas and Philly, like on average. Because I'm thinking about the last time I was ever like really just like all in on the Washington Dallas rivalry was honestly probably RG3's rookie season. And like that was like the last time I ever felt some type of way about Washington. After that, it was always Philly because Philly has always been competitive. Philly had always been in the hunt. Philly had always been just a thorn in our side. And it's like Washington has just sort of been that other NFC East team. Like because they really haven't been all that competitive. They really haven't been all that interesting. And it's like you said, the rivalry comes from Washington fans. It doesn't really come from Dallas fans. Like
Yeah, exactly.
You're
we have
Cleveland.
No, so no, then no,
They're your Cleveland.
no.
They
Washington's
are
not.
your Cleveland.
No. Washington's not Cleveland.
No,
No.
I'm saying you look at them the way we look at Cleveland.
I mean, I'm not an AFC North person, so I don't know. But
Yeah,
but let me
what I'm
answer,
hearing is the same things I say about Cleveland Browns.
let me answer Corey's question real quick. Um, I'm sure that's a part of it, but like also like as a like growing up when we was watching football as kids, like if you remember like the Cowboys and Redskins used to play on Thanksgiving every year. It was always Cowboys versus Indians, the story
Mhm.
of Thanksgiving. Cowboys in Washington would play every Thanksgiving. And remember, there was a time period where like we beat Washington like 8 straight years. Like or 8 straight times. It was like 4 years that Washington had not beat us or some shit like that. And then like during that time we had during that time there was a period we had Deion Sanders, and then they had Darrell Green, and then like in the early 2000s they had Sean Taylor who could hit hard as hell. We had Roy Williams. Like there was some comparable little pieces that we had with Washington and Washington had with us.
Neither one of y'all had a quarterback.
Yeah, neither one of us had a quarterback for a long time. You know what I mean? So I'm sure
Anthony Edwards, Anthony
what?
Anthony something. You had a quarterback who wore like goggles or something. First name was Anthony. I think his last name was Anthony.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna look at that 2001 Cowboys roster because he played with Quincy Carter.
Oh yeah, it must have been his backup. But like Washington was all the Washington. I don't know if it's because they aren't good anymore. But I don't know. Washington just doesn't have the same vibe that it used to have as you know what it is. You know what it is. It's not that Washington isn't good. I don't care about Washington. And look, I know Elle and whoever else. If my mother is listening to this, I know she gonna feel some type of way about what I'm about to say too. I am not concerned about Washington, and I have not been concerned about Washington for a very long time because Washington is not a respectable team. Philadelphia, they are respectable by reputation, but the reason why I hate Philly is because they are everything that we are, Philly isn't. We got rings, Philly just got one, but Philly talk big shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Washington, they got some rings, they got a history, but like they're just not respectable. Like I can't recall one time where I have been jealous of anything Washington has had. Even when Washington had Sean Taylor, I wasn't jealous about that. Like there's nothing respectable about Washington. Washington is just there. They are the franchise in the NFC East that is just there. They are the ball-headed stepchild. They like
Damn.
I'm
Red-headed.
dead.
This man said ball-headed.
They are they're the ball-headed stepchild.
Kill, I think we should take offense to that.
Like,
no, I should, but I'm not.
What you trying to say, Mike?
They're not.
He talking that good shit.
Nah, they are like. Okay. I'm gonna use NBA players. Let's say the Dallas Cowboys are LeBron James, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Philadelphia Eagles, in my mind, would be like Kevin Durant, an alter like a super villain, like a super villain to my superhero. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would be like so Kevin Durant would be like the Eagles. Washington or the Giants. The Giants would be.
Could they keep beating y'all in the playoffs?
Huh? You said what?
No.
Yeah. Okay. The Giants would be like Kawhi Leonard. That's a good one. The Giants would be like Kawhi Leonard. The Washington Commanders, whatever. They would be kill a don't say shit because you about to be disrespectful.
Who just Nicholas Batum, bro? He was a franchise player at one point.
Washington would be Paul George. In other words, Paul George never. Remember there was that time where everybody where Indiana was going at Miami in that 7-game series, and Paul George was the star of the Pacers and everything like that. Paul George was never really competing against LeBron. Paul George was just the dude on the other team. Like he was the
best player on that team.
Yeah, he was just the best player on the other team. But he wasn't near LeBron James, there's nothing about Paul George's game that is respectable in comparison to LeBron James.
Paul George is what I thought Michael Beasley was gonna be.
Like, if we're talking about franchises, if we're talking about NBA franchises, the Dallas Cowboys would be the Dallas Cowboys would be like the Lakers, the Celtics, probably the Lakers. The Dallas Cowboys would, if we're talking about NBA terms, the Dallas Cowboys would be the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles would be
Like the Pistons.
Sure. Yes. The Eagles would be like the Pistons.
And when I say Pistons people, I'm talking the ones that was beating the shit out of Michael Jordan physically.
The Giants would be
Spurs.
no. The Giants would be, if we're talking about like 90s basketball, the Giants would be like Orlando.
What about Houston?
I mean, you could say Houston. Okay, we can go with Houston. The Giants would be like that. Washington would be the Knicks. like I'm not even trying to be funny, but Washington would be the Knicks. There's nothing. Washington has nothing respectable. Like I mean, they had North Turner. That was the last time Washington was respectable. Remember when Joe Gibbs came back the second time? What they do? Not shit. Remember when they had Jason Campbell? They didn't do nothing. Remember when they had the head coach Jim Zorn?
Spurrier. Remember that Spurrier?
They had Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach, where he sat up in the press conference. I forgot what question they asked Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier gonna say, "I'm just the old ball coach." Like
that shit was hilarious.
They had Steve Spurrier, didn't do nothing. They had Joe Gibbs the second time, didn't do nothing. They had Jim Zorn, didn't do nothing. They had Shanahan, didn't do nothing. They had Jay Gruden, didn't do nothing.
Oh man.
Then you got motherfuckers talking about in Ron I trust, and he gonna fuck around and start Carson Wentz again, so they don't do nothing. It's like they have not been respectable since they had North Turner as the head coach, and so that's why I don't put no weight into this Cowboy Washington rivalry. It don't mean nothing to me. If it means anything to me. If it does mean anything to me, it's about like 0.0000001%, and that percent is only because I want to talk trash to my mother, my aunts, and L. That's it.
Oh damn.
That's it. Honestly, I say, you know what? I just realized, Corey. Let me give you a better answer to your original question. The reason why the rivalry between Washington and Dallas meant more when we was younger, in my opinion, is because of school. When Washington beat the Cowboys and I had to go to school the next day, everybody would talk shit to me. When Dallas beat Washington and I had to go to school the next day, I was able to talk shit to everybody else. Literally, the only thing that rivalry provides is bragging rights. It provides nothing else. Nothing else.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it. I literally did not care about the game on Sunday. I literally only watched it to see how delusional Phil was going to be. And Sam Howell did not come close to no 400 yards of offense.
Nope.
Not close.
But I will say this much for Washington. If they would have called all their games the way they called the Cowboy game, maybe they would have been in the fucking playoffs.
Look, man, don't be confused. I've been complimentary of Washington for majority of this season.
Really,
Ever since
actually, we have as a unit
ever since
been
they
very
started,
complimentary.
yeah,
Mhm.
ever since they started Taylor Heineke, we've been very complimentary of Washington, highly
That nigga
impressed,
Tyler again, bro. He is Tyler again.
very
When you get
impressed.
benched again for Carson Wentz, I don't give a damn who the coach is, who made the
Nah,
decision.
no,
Your name is
that's
Tyler.
no, that's not his fault.
Tyler.
You're Tyler
But
until further notice, my guy.
but
Oh my gosh.
but no. Like I was highly impressed with Washington. They get a lot of credit for how they was able to come back and kind of like put their season together to where they finished 500. They get a ton of credit in the world to me because for the first 7 weeks of the season, they looked like they was about to have the number one pick.
And you know what,
Yeah.
Mike? I'm glad you said that because everything you just said could have just been applied to a certain somebody you brought up earlier. That's Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
Everything you
Yeah.
just said right there, you could have applied to him.
yeah.
And the
Mhm.
outstanding coaching job that he did. Now,
Killer,
we
you owe me
did
an
talk.
apology. No,
I do.
Killer,
I do.
Killer.
I do.
You,
I
you
do.
not only Killer, you not only owe me an apology, but
hmm
you owe the Steelers faithful an apology.
I
You
do.
owe
I
Mike.
honestly thought
You
we were going to
owe
finish under 500 this year.
you owe Mike Tomlin an apology.
And that I do.
So
So
I'm gonna
allow
shut
me.
up. I'm gonna shut up.
Allow me. For the last 16 years, in my eyes, in my honest opinion, he has now proven the fact that he is a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame coach. I'll throw him right on up there. He's the only coach in the league right now who can say that he's never stared at a win percentage at the end of the year that started with .4. He's the only one. And I had the nerve to believe that that streak was actually going to come to an end. I should have believed a little bit more. I honestly should have. But I will go on a limb and say this. Watching my team over the last 4 games, I got a hot take for that ass, boy. If this draft goes the way I think it's going to, we could win the damn division next year. I honestly believe it. Because we honestly shouldn't have lost a game to the Bengals.
Killer,
We shouldn't have lost to the
this is not
Ravens.
no Killer. This is not about the Steelers winning the division next year. This is about Mike Tomlin in 16 years being 16-0 against losing seasons. He is 16-0
Crazy.
versus losing seasons. He has never had a losing season in 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I find it very disrespectful when people throw his people were actually asking me, you think they're gonna fire Mike Tomlin? I'm like, for the fuck what? That's not how we do things in Pittsburgh. It's not. If that would have been how we do things in Pittsburgh, Chuck Noll wouldn't have made it out of the 80s. He made it all the way to 1991. From 69 to 91. And then Cowher didn't always perform all that well. There were years where the Titans were just giving us their ass to kiss. And it was happening on a yearly fucking basis. And for a lot of people don't know, the Oilers, they used to be in our division. It used to be Cincinnati, Baltimore, Cleveland, Tennessee, Pittsburgh. That was before the addition to Houston when there was only 3 divisions and there were 5 teams per division. But looking at I was just talking about Cowher. Cowher's had some losing years. That's how we were able to get Big Ben. I think we finished 7-9 a year before we got Ben. And then his last year before Tomlin got there, he finished 7-9. We won the Super Bowl. We went 15-1. Won the Super Bowl. These are 3 years. Went 7-9. Hired Mike Tomlin. And we have been the most consistent franchise outside of New England since. Big ups to this man. 100% big ups. And on top of that, he's actually, in my eyes, breaking the stigma that haunts a lot of black coaches who, when they first start to see a little bit of trouble, now they're on the hot seat. He's never, in my eyes, been on the hot seat. And I can tell you right now, I actually heard from the Rooneys themselves when I met one of the Steelers owners in the press box at Winston-Salem State University during our playoff push in 2011. I talked to them myself, and he said, if you are a head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have the most secure job in the fucking country. Point blank. And that's something that they believe in those halls in Pittsburgh, PA. Why would we replace greatness? You're not guaranteed to find it afterwards.
All I know is I ain't heard you say I'm sorry.
I apologize when you were telling me to apologize.
Oh, all right. I'm just making sure.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, granted, you owe your Cowboys an apology as well for how they.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Oh no, actually, really quick. I fucking called it. NFC North finished exactly how the hell I said it was. Called that shit. Cause the Lions took it to Green Bay.
Oh yeah. You can gloat about that, Killer. That's true.
Yeah.
You can.
And I said at the beginning of the year, that offense was a ticking time bomb, and I'm just waiting for it to go off. And that son bitch was ringing like a freedom bell all season. You think the Lions ain't about to come up there and show some people they ass next year? Now they know they are a postseason worthy team.
Hey, look. Check this out. I'm gonna tell you why I don't owe the Cowboys an apology.
Okay.
Do we remember how they exited the playoffs last year?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Do we remember how they traded Amari Cooper for pretty much a book bag?
At least it was JanSport.
No. Stop that. They traded Amari Cooper. They traded Amari Cooper for a Lunchable and 2 Crunch bars.
Yo, Crunch bars is the shit.
And their excuse was about his contract being too high when Amari Cooper is only making $20 million. Corey, are you driving up the road?
Yeah, I was about to say,
no,
bro,
my bad.
You driving or you in the washroom or something?
No, I was scratching my neck when acquisition. My bad.
Wait, scratching your neck sound like cars in the driveway?
It can when you got corded headphones, man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Nah, bro.
I know you ain't talking. You
this sound like
times
you foot like
driving down the highway.
Like you were going a smooth 37 miles an hour right now. That's what that shit sound like.
Mike, finish what you were saying, please.
So yeah, I don't owe the Cowboys an apology. Honestly, if the Cowboys lose on Monday, they owe me an apology for being a fucking fan of theirs. They owe me an apology. See what motherfuckers fail to understand.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to the motherfuckers.
Shout out to the motherfuckers.
What the motherfuckers fail to understand is sports teams are like Harry Potter.
Slytherin, baby.
Corey, when when Harry went to go get his wand, what did the dude who worked at Ollivander, I can't think of his name, what did he say?
Something like I don't know. Try this one or this one.
No,
too powerful.
the key saying it was the wand chooses the
Wand
wizard,
chooses the
Mr.
wizard.
Hudson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sports work the same way.
Mhm.
You don't choose what team you're going to be a fan of.
It just kind of
The
happens.
the team chooses you. You just be watching shit and you just be like, damn, I really like that team. It the team chooses you.
Hmm.
The Cowboys chose me. If they lose next week, I want an apology for them choosing me. I want an apology.
Bruh.
I,
You know what's
this is
wild is that you actually right on that. Like
you feel
your
me?
team does kind of choose you. Like I never really thought about it like that, but your team does choose you. Like I didn't
Yes,
choose to root for the Chicago Bulls. It just kind of happened.
it
Like
just
watching,
happened.
and I'm like, I like this team. Like that's how I fell in love with the Steelers. What kind of dude in Durham, North Carolina, grow up there and don't root for the Cowboys or the Skins in
And
that
here
era that I grew up in?
and killer and
My
killer
ass picking the Pittsburgh Steelers.
killer. I'm glad you used the Chicago Bulls as an example because I tried, killer. After Jordan left, I tried to
I
root for
did
another
too.
team. I tried
Like
when Jordan
Sacramento or something.
no, when Jordan left and all that was left on the team was old
Oh,
ass Scottie Pippen with the mini fro, and then they had young Tyson Chandler and Jalen Rose and goddamn Eddie Curry. When
oh,
that,
what's Marcus Pfizer?
yeah, him. When that was the Chicago Bulls in
Rick Bergen,
1999,
right?
I tried. I tried to root for. You know what I did? My favorite player after Jordan retired became Vincent Lamar Carter,
Oh, I was
and
gonna say
and
Kevin Garnett.
and I rooted for every Vince Carter team. When Vince Carter was with Toronto, I was fucking with Toronto. When they turned on him, I said fuck Toronto. When he went to New Jersey, I was rooting for the Nets. I had a Vince Carter Nets jersey and everything. When Vince Carter left New Jersey and went to goddamn what was it after that? Dallas? No,
Mhm.
Orlando. When he went to
Orlando.
Orlando, I was rooting for Orlando. I was rooting for bitch ass Dwight Howard.
Oh gosh.
I was rooting for him. As a matter of fact, I was rooting for Vince Carter so much when Corey and I met Dwight Howard in Charlotte. I asked Dwight Howard. We took a picture. I said, Dwight, I got a question for you. He said, what's up? My question, I said, how is it playing with Vince Carter? That was the question that I asked him. I didn't ask nothing about him. How was it playing with Vince Carter? He was like, "Oh, Vince Carter, cool man, you love him, blah blah blah." And then Corey, me and you walked out of the damn bowling alley.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Oh yeah,
I,
that was that weekend y'all went to Charlotte. I had so much fun.
yeah,
That
yeah,
one.
yeah. It was that weekend. It was that weekend.
I was being a total Negro that weekend. Ugh.
But but look, I tried. Look, I tried. I tried to root for the Raptors. I tried to root for the Nets. I tried to root for the Magic. It just didn't seem right. I had
Mhm.
I had a hat. I had a New Jersey Nets hat because Vince Carter played for them. And then after Orlando, I realized I got to go back to the Bulls. I don't want to root for another team. Like I don't want
Yeah,
to root for another team. I want to root for Vince Carter.
I felt
I
dirty
don't want to root for
pulling for
another
other
team.
teams. I
Mm-hmm.
felt dirty.
Yeah,
Like
you
I'm like,
feel
I
me?
just don't feel right.
Felt like I
You
was
know what I mean?
cheating on Chicago.
I swear to God, that's what it feel like, bruh. I remember watching and hating the LA Lakers in the early 2000s, mainly because my team sucked again, and I didn't know how long it was going to be until we were as good as them. So that's how I was looking at that. But watching Sacramento, I was trying to like pull for the teams that they play a lot, and I was like, I just want them to lose, but I was stuck watching my Bulls. I just couldn't. Like I had WGN programmed into like the first button on my dang on remote, so as soon as I press it, I get the Bulls game.
Hey, Corey.
Yeah.
Look, here's the best example. Corey, do you
Mhm.
remember when you became a Cowboy fan?
Oh
Or did
yes,
you remember?
I remember.
Let me hear the story. Let me hear it.
So like the first time, so 1994 for me was like the first year I started watching like any sport like religiously, like football and basketball. But I started watching the Cowboys game that 94 season with my dad. Cause like I may have watched it earlier, but like 94 season, that's the season where I have it clear, crystal clear in my memory of me watching the Cowboys. And it's like my dad talked about it all the time. Like it was on because I stayed with my dad a lot those weekends. So like we watched the Cowboys game every Sunday, talked about them every Sunday, and it just became like it's like I didn't have any other team. Like my mom was a Washington fan. Like most of my relatives are Washington fans, but like it didn't hit for me. Like it wasn't the same for me. Like they didn't grab me like the way Dallas did. And that 1994 season, like the Cowboys, like they didn't win the Super Bowl that year. They went to the NFC
Y'all lost to the
Championship.
49ers.
Yeah, but like even with that, it was like that's my team. Like Emmitt Smith became my favorite player in the NFL. Like that, they were my team, and so
And so
that '94
they
season.
just grabbed you.
Yeah, and it's like because I tried to watch I would try to watch something else because I'm a kid, so I'm trying to absorb everything. But it's like, nah, it's the Cowboys. No, it's something's different with the Cowboys. Like even that loss to San Fran, which I remember I watched that whole game, and remember watching how awesome Deion Sanders was. But I'm like, the Cowboys are my team. Like they're just my team. You know.
Exactly. My daughter, my daughter, she be watching the game, but she don't know what she looking at. She 5. She don't know what she's looking at. My daughter will call me on the phone on Sunday just to ask me, Daddy, did the Cowboys win? It just grabbed her. like she saw how Cowboy victories made her daddy happy. And it just grabbed her. It just grabbed her. And then she'll fuck around she'll fuck around and tell her stepmom, ha ha, the Eagles trash, ha ha.
Oh god.
So so you feel me? So like, yo, like f- who you become a fan of, it's not your choice. It just, nobody ever sits in a room and says, you know what, I'm gonna be a fan of the Commanders. Somewhere somebody said, the Commanders, that's their new name. That sound like the Commodores, and I'm a Lionel Richie fan. They my new team. Like it
Bro,
just some shit just grabs you. And
the
so
disrespect in that origin story.
so look, and so look, what I'm saying is, you said I owe the Cowboys an apology. No, I remember how they exited the playoffs. If they exit the playoffs like that again on this coming Monday, they owe me an apology because they chose me. I am the victim. Just want to
That's
put that
true.
out.
That's true because I can remember when, how I became a Steelers fan. It was watching the game with my granddaddy.
Yeah.
They were always on TV, watching the game with him, kicking it with him. Some of the some of those like best times was like during that. But there is something that I do kind of want to touch on because it's actually something I talked about at work. Was Tank Davis Ryan Garcia fight? It's been booked April 15th, 2023. And the guys at work are already talking about trying to hit the bar, watch that fight. I don't know about paying to walk into a bar to watch that fight when I can just stream that bit for free. So I'm definitely gonna watch that fight though. Tank Davis, 100%, may be the best pound for pound boxer there is right now. Speed, power, elusiveness. He uses his shoulders better than any fighter in the game. Period. Pick weight
Real
class.
quick,
I'm telling you
real
right now, he's a monster.
real quick. I don't think the date has been set yet. I think Ryan Garcia proposed April 15th as the date. But
Okay,
I don't
so
I don't
hasn't
but
so
I
we don't
don't
know if it's
know.
been
I
locked
don't
in.
know. Yeah, I don't know if the paperwork has been signed with the official date yet. But I know that Ryan Garcia and Tank both are targeting April, the month of April.
All right, well,
I
either
just
way,
wanted to clear that up.
yeah, either way, in April, that's target date. But let's just talk about that the matchup. I mean, clearly Garcia been popping off at the mouth. Like this is a fight he said he wanted. Tank really ain't really much for talking. He just gonna go in and knock your ass out. But this entire matchup has me what I can't wait. Because I'm not really that big on MMA, but I love boxing.
I'm gonna tell you right
So
now,
I'm
Tank. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I think Tank Davis gonna whoop his ass.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now, Tank Davis gonna lose.
Oh,
He gonna lose.
oh.
He gonna
How you
lose.
come to that? How you come to that?
Tank Davis, his recent fights have not been impressive. Have not been impressive victories. I'm gonna pull up. Let me pull up his let me see, boxing record. Yeah. Okay. So he did TKO Rolly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But and he beat the hell out of Rolly. Rolly Romero, Rolando Romero. For anybody confused on who Rolly is when I say Rolly.
Nah, no confusion.
So y'all agree he beat the shit out of Rolly, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So his last 3 fights were Hector Garcia, Rolly, and Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz went the distance all 12. Tank got the unanimous decision. Watch that fight again. I'm telling you right now, Isaac Cruz won that fight. Isaac Cruz gave Tank work. He won that fight. And I think that fight, I think you can pull that fight up on YouTube, the whole fight. Isaac Cruz beat Tank, even though Tank got the decision. Then comes the fight with Rolly, and he beat the hell out of Rolly. TKO'd him in the 6th. Then there's Hector Garcia, the fight that just happened on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Before Hector Garcia said he couldn't see and had to throw in the towel, that fight was tied. Hector Garcia had 4 rounds. I don't care what Letterman, I don't care what the fuck his scorecard said, because he was wilding. He gave the first round. He gave Tank a 10 in the first round and gave Hector Garcia a 10 in the first round. I didn't even know you could do that. But
I thought the points went up to 19 and you split, or you can
what?
give less. I thought the max points you can give on one card for a round was 19.
That's what I thought.
Mhm.
19 total. This man
Yeah.
gave 20 points total. 10 to Hector Garcia, 10 to Tank Davis in the first round. He had them tied in the first round. I disagreed with that wholeheartedly. Hector Garcia won the first 3 rounds. And then Tank won the 4th round, and Tank won the 5th round. The 6th round, I think. Oh no, the Tank also. So Garcia won the first 3. Tank won the next 3, and then the fight went 1-1. And then Hector Garcia said he couldn't see because of a left hook that he took to the face. He couldn't see, and so he had to throw in the towel. I'm telling you right now, that fight was tied. And yeah, so looking at the last 3 fights, the fact that Hector Garcia, the fact that like on paper it's gonna say TKO, like he beat Hector Garcia by TKO because the ref stopped it, but the ref didn't stop it because Tank was dominating the fight. If you understand what I'm saying, like the ref didn't stop it because Tank was winning the fight. He stopped it because Hector Garcia got hit with a punch that stopped him from seeing temporarily. It wasn't like the Rolly fight where he beat the shit out of Rolly. It wasn't like that. So that fight was too close for me to be comfortable. And the Isaac Cruz fight is the fight that he lost, in my opinion. So 2 out of his last 3 fights, you could argue he was not winning the fights. And let him come out like that against Ryan Garcia gonna win that fight.
The matchup of this fight is very interesting because Killer, you said you see it clear like TKO, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm seeing a knockout. Honestly,
I
think it's gonna get like 7-8 rounds, but I see a knockout.
So right now, as we sit here in January, I have Tank winning, but I have him winning a decision because even though Tank does have the power advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Ryan Garcia wasn't so fast and quick, I would also say that he would have a tough time dealing with Tank's left hand. But because he's so fast, I don't think that's going to be as much of a problem for Garcia, which is why I feel like this fight could go to distance. Mike, I hear what you're saying about Tank's last 3 fights, and yeah, that should cause some concern. But I think he will be really up for this fight. I think he'll be focused for this fight because Ryan Garcia, he can beat Tank Davis. Like that, it wouldn't be, in my eyes, it wouldn't be like a massive upset. He can give Tank big problems. But I think what makes this fight so interesting is that even though Garcia has like the speed and the reach advantage, and he's so accurate with his punches, Tank, like, all he needs is one shot. Not even just to knock him out, but just like to really hurt him and to really slow him down. And I think that's going to be the key to success for Tank Davis to win this fight. You focus on the body and work your way up to the head, and you try to slow that speed down. Because Ryan Garcia, he will get in and out quick. And I think that's going to negate some of Tank's ability to throw that left hand. But as we sit today, I would give the edge to Tank, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that Ryan Garcia wins this fight. But either way, I see a decision right now.
Yeah. Now, I don't want anyone thinking that just because I said knockout means that he's going to be in there beating that man ass. A knockout in the 7th to 8th round, that's an actual fight.
Let me also put this in perspective. All right. So you got Tank Davis, who is a southpaw. You got Ryan Garcia, who's orthodox, right? So that is the perfect fight because how could I put it? Because they're polar opposites. So like what Ryan Garcia leaves open, that's where Tank's power is. What Tank I'm talking about by stance. Now Tank, what Tank leaves open, that's where Ryan Garcia's power is, because so they have opposite stances. So that's going to be very intriguing. Here's the difference though. Tank is more muscular than Ryan Garcia, but when you are talking about when you're talking about a 70-inch reach for Ryan Garcia, and you're talking about a 67-inch reach for Tank, with the speed that Ryan Garcia got, that's a problem. Not to mention, Tank is only like 5'4", 5'5". Ryan Garcia is like between 5'10" and 5'11". That's a 5 to 6 inch difference where Tank, in order to like get the knockouts that Tank usually is used to getting, he's going to have to punch up. Like he can't punch like straight in front of his face. His punches are going to have to, the trajectory of them are going to have to be higher than he's used to. It's not Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz and Tank was like same eye level. Let me look at Isaac Cruz real quick. Yeah, Isaac Cruz is 5'4". Tank is 5'5". They're pretty much at eye level. When you talk about Ryan Garcia and Tank, they not looking eye to eye. Ryan Garcia is looking over him. So when Tank is going for those headshots, he's really going to have to reach up. And I think that even is going to take some of his power away, because there's going to be so much effort to try to reach up, to try to reach like his head as he's punching up with a shorter reach than Ryan Garcia. I'm gonna be honest, Killer. Like I know we used to Tank getting knockouts and he be having explosive knockouts and shit, but I do not see a knockout. I do not see a knockout happening. Now, Ryan Garcia could fuck up. He could slip up, leave something open where Tank get a clean shot.
And that's all you need.
Yeah.
And when you're fighting with that kind of speed, sometimes that speed can kill, but not just your opponent. It also kill you.
I understand.
We saw that. I know it's the MMA. We saw that with Adesanya. His speed hurt him.
No, but see, MMA is different because MMA also involves the feet.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But if you're used to that, the reaction time to throw a punch for boxers is an abnormal kind of a thing anyway, because of how fast they are. Yeah, quick muscle fibers and all that in the upper body are some of the quickest in the world. So
yeah, I'm not saying that Tank ain't gonna get no licks. He gonna get some licks, and they gonna hurt Ryan Garcia too. Like Tank, his nickname is Tank for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, with the fact that Ryan Garcia is so much taller than him, and Tank is gonna have to punch up, and he doesn't have the reach that Ryan Garcia has. And he doesn't have the speed that Ryan Garcia has. And of his last 3 fights, you can argue he wasn't winning 2 of them. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I said, and that's what's gonna make us kind of pre-gaming about this particular fight interesting, because for everything that Garcia has in the way of his speed and his agility in the ring, typically if you want to take out something that's fast, you just got to hit it real hard. That shit ain't gonna be moving as quickly anymore. So if if Tank works the body and then start to get a taller fighter to drop their hands, I'm gonna tell you straight up and down, with a taller fighter, with a shorter fighter, the reach ain't really there. So it may be harder for you to reach up. And as a taller fighter, it's harder for you to guard up, because if you're guarding up by your face, if you have to hold your arms in a certain way, or you're gonna get body shot to death. And
I was about to say Tank. That's it. I was about to say Tank is gonna have to work that body. But here's the problem Tank is gonna have when Ryan Garcia is on the attack. See, like going up a hill is always harder than going down a hill. So whereas Tank has to punch up, it's going to take more effort for Tank. It's not going to take as much effort for Ryan Garcia to have to punch down. Like when you punch down, there's more velocity, there's more power, because you're going down. You're going towards gravity. So that reach is gonna be critical, yo. That reach gonna be critical.
It is. And 3 inches. That's honestly, I know that ain't much in the way of distance, but if you're talking about being able to throw a punch, that is key.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go anime here, but that's why Master Roshi beat Goku in the first 10K. Was because his foot was just a little bit longer. I'm telling you, reach matters. 100% reach matters. Now I know we had some other topics or whatnot, but we're gonna table
Not really.
those.
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, outside of the playoffs, but we really did touch on everything else that kind of mattered. Coaching changes, nothing of consequence. Um, the playoffs are set. Yippee! We talked about that last week. We kind of knew who was getting in outside of everybody in Seattle becoming the biggest Detroit Lions fans I have ever seen. Like there were Lions fans who weren't rooting as hard for them to win. And also, by the way, fuck you, New York Jets. And
Hey
I'll leave it
man.
at that. Y'all had one damn job, and they're gonna sit there and kiss that man in the mouth after the game. You
I mean,
bitches.
it's the Jets.
Yeah, Jet. I'm just gonna leave that.
Hey, they had a good season
I'm
though.
stop.
They had a good
did.
season.
Yeah,
They had
they did the same thing the Titans
to
did,
have
which is
a
very
to have
impressive.
to have an uncertain quarterback situation. They had a really good season.
Yeah, they did the same thing the Titans did. Two teams did this shit simultaneously. They were 7-3 and lost 7 straight.
So I got the Is He a Hall of Famer, right?
Yes, you do.
Mhm.
All right. Well, check this out. This is a little different. I don't have an Is He a Hall of Famer, and I did that on purpose because this Is He a Hall of Famer segment is going to be about us giving flowers, right?
I like
So
that.
Hall of Fame finalists um was released last week. And Torrey Holt is on that list. He deserves to be a Hall of Famer. Um we did a Hall of Famer. Corey, this was actually you chose this dude as a Hall of Famer. He was a safety, Dallas Cowboys. You read off the numbers. We automatically knew it was Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson is finally getting his just due. And it's about damn time. Darren Woodson is my all-time favorite Cowboy. Um, for Darren Woodson should have been in the Hall of Fame. It is a crime that he is not in the Hall of Fame yet. And I am telling you this right now. Darren Woodson is a top 10 safety of all time. I say that confidently. And people are going to sit here and say that I'm crazy and all of this other stuff. I'm gonna ask you right now, what other safety do y'all know that played safety, linebacker, and cornerback all in the same season?
No.
He is the only one.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Only other one that could have came close was Ronnie Lott,
not
but that's a different era.
not even Troy Polamalu, and I love Troy Polamalu, killer. I know that that's one of the greatest safeties all time, top 5, no debate. Troy Polamalu did not even play all 3 positions during the season.
Mm-mm.
Darren Woodson, and here's the thing: Darren Woodson also played in played in the era before Ed Reed and Brian Dawkins and them. But then he also played the back end of his career was during their prime. A lot of the shit that you saw Ed Reed and Brian Dawkins and you saw all of these hard hitting safeties do, a lot of the shit that you saw, a lot
Brian
of that
Clark.
came from Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson should have been in the Hall of Fame. And so the fact that he is a finalist now, the fact that he's a finalist now is well overdue. Congratulations to him. That's what I wanted to do for Is He a Hall of Famer tonight, is give that man his flowers because nobody else seems to give him his flowers. There's a story that Corey, you and I listen to like the same Dallas Cowboys radio talk. There's a story that they talked about last week where they didn't have, I think was it against the Giants? I think it was against the Giants. They didn't have an X-ray machine. This is in the 90s. Didn't have an X-ray machine. During in the stadium or whatever. And Darren Woodson got hurt. He hurt his arm. I think his arm was broken. And he couldn't get his arm x-rayed to figure out what the problem was at the time. This man told the training staff to tape his arm, to like wrap his arm in tape. And they wrapped his arm in tape and with a broken arm, and this man went out there and finished the damn football game. Like,
Oh shit.
yo,
Yeah.
you can't make like you can't make this shit up. Like the stories that you hear about Ronnie Lott and how they had to like cut off his pinky during the game. Legendary story. Like I'm sure Ed Reed got some stories. I'm sure B Dog got some stories. I'm sure Palomalu got some stories.
Paul Pierce got a story. He shit
Man, I ain't
himself and
trying.
they
I ain't
wheeled
trying
him
to hear
back.
about no damn Paul Pierce. I'm talking about greatness, not no damn Paul Pierce.
That man came back running like, whew, took that shit.
But yeah, Darren Woodson, man, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's also a finalist with fellow Cowboy DeMarcus Ware.
Zach
It is
Thomas should have been in the Hall of Fame a
it,
long ass
it
time
is
ago too.
it is also a crime that DeMarcus Ware is on his second ballot. DeMarcus Ware should have been in the Hall of Fame last year when he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Hmm?
You know, so Torrey Holt should have been in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why it takes so long for motherfuckers to get in the Hall of Fame. I really don't. One of the Cowboys radio guys, Corey know who I'm talking about, Brian Broaddus.
Mike's favorite.
Yeah, right. No, I can tolerate him. I can tolerate him now more than I could, back in the day, because back in the day I didn't really appreciate him for what he is. You know what I mean? But anyway, uh, Brian Broaddus was a former scout for the Cowboys and the Packers. Brian Broaddus last week said, he was with the team when Leroy
Lover.
Butler,
Oh, that
Leroy Butler, the safety. Leroy Butler. He was Brian Broaddus was on the scout team when for the Packers when Leroy Butler was the safety for the Packers, and Leroy Butler is the safety that got into the Hall of Fame last year. Brian Broaddus, he said Darren Woodson is 10 times better than Leroy Butler. 10 times. Brian Broaddus was also on the Cowboys staff when Darren Woodson was on the Cowboys too, so he would know. 10 times. 10 times better. That's what I was saying last week. Leroy Butler is in the Hall of Fame. He was mid. He was not good. Like, he was average at best.
shout out.
So if
Rest in peace.
So if he's in the Hall of Fame, I don't see any reason why Darren Woodson won't get into the Hall of Fame. He should have been in there. But yeah, I just wanted to take my Is He a Hall of Famer and show that man some love, because he is the most underrated Cowboy. He is the most underrated safety. Nobody ever mentions his name when you talk about great safeties. So yeah, I just wanted to give that man his flowers.
Couldn't have said it
Hell
better
yeah.
myself.
Hey,
So-
I just noticed something. I'm looking at the list of guys. Andre Johnson's on here, and he did everything but play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He smooth almost played for the whole division. He played for Houston, Indy, and Tennessee.
Hey, Andre Johnson should be first ballot.
Hell yeah, and this is not his first ballot.
That's a damn shame.
I mean, hell, you thought Torrey Holt should have been on there. He was a top 10 wide receiver of all time by the time he retired, and he, overlooked. I think Isaac Bruce is already in, but he's not.
Yeah, Isaac Bruce.
Isn't. Yeah.
Isaac Bruce is in.
Torrey Holt was better than him.
Torrey Holt was better than Isaac Bruce.
I mean, by a wide margin, in my opinion. Because I remember growing up watching like NC State, UNC. Torrey Holt was at NC State. And Dre Bly, you remember him?
I remember him.
He was at UNC. And watching them two go head to head, dude, that might have been some of the best one-on-one play in college football I have ever seen.
So this is actually what I want to do for Is He a Hall of Famer? I said what I said. If you go into the Discord, I put a link in the Pod Topics channel for the show. There's a link there. Click the link, both of y'all. I want each of us to go down the list and give our opinion on whether these finalists are a Hall of Famer, are a Hall of Famer or not. So I'll start it. Let me know when y'all got the link up.
I got it up.
I got it.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm gonna make this quick. Jared Allen, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Willie Anderson, I personally would say no. Not this ballot. I personally would. Rondé Barber, yes. Dwight Freeney, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Hester, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Torrey Holt, yes. Chuck Howley, he should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Joe Klecko, no. Albert Lewis, no. Revis, duh. Joe Thomas, duh.
Yep.
Zach Thomas, duh.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Willis, yes. DeMarcus Ware, yes. Woodson, yes. That's what I got.
I agree with that. I think Willie Anderson.
I said not this ballot. I didn't say he is an Hall of Famer.
Okay.
I said not this ballot.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
All right. And this is the list of 28, right?
Huh?
This is the list of 28.
This is a list of the finalists. I don't know if it's listing all the finalists or not. Let me see.
Because I got a different list here.
No, the Pro Football Hall of Fame has announced the 15 modern era player finalists. So these are the modern.
That's
the 15,
modern era.
This is the 15 modern era Hall of Fame finalists. I put the link in the thing.
Yeah, something's not. Like I clicked the expand story to kind of follow it with you, and it was not giving me what I was looking for. All right, now I gave it the entire story.
Killer to click something different.
Nah, I clicked the right shit, and then I went to read more so I can get the entire list, and it took me to a different page. So I was just gonna sit there and look up some other stuff.
Oh man.
All right, so what you got?
All right, for this, I'm gonna do the same way you did it at the beginning. Jared Allen, yes. Willie Anderson, yes. Rondé Barber, yes. Dwight Freeney, yes. Devin Hester, hell yeah. Torrey Holt, hell yeah. Chuck Howley, of course. Joe Klecko, better luck next year. Albert Lewis, yes. Darrell Revis, yes. Joe Thomas, hell yeah. Zach Thomas should have been in. Patrick Willis should have been in. DeMarcus Ware should have been in. Darren Woodson should have been in.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. You can't put 14 people in the Hall of Fame.
I know, and that's what sucks. What's the cap for the NFL? 5?
I think was it
I don't know what the cap is, but I know you ain't putting 14 in there.
I can't remember how they break it up with modern and whatever.
But if it's 5 and I gotta pick 5 from this list, I'm gonna pick Jared Allen, Rondé Barber, Dwight Freeney. Hold up, wait. If it's 5 from this list, I'm definitely gonna put Woodson and DeMarcus Ware. That's 2. Freeney makes 3. Torrey Holt makes 4. Revis makes 5. Those are the 5 that I would go with.
Yeah, they say between 4 and 8 get in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if it's 8,
I put Joe Thomas. I put Joe Thomas in my 5.
Yeah, if it's 8, give me Jared Allen, that's 1. Give me Rondé, that's 2. Give me Dwight Freeney, that's 3. Give me Hester, that's 4. Give me Torrey Holt, that's 5. Um, Give me Chuck Howley, that's 6. Oh no, I might take Chuck Howley off. He should be in the Hall of Fame, but he stopped playing in the 70s, but or you know what? No, I'm gonna keep Chuck Howley there. I'm gonna take Devin Hester off because he's a great kick returner, but all he did was return kicks. Um, so that I'm
It's
at
not like he
5.
had a chance to shine as a wide receiver because he never really had a good to great quarterback at all.
6, give me Revis. Yeah, 7, give me Ware. 8, give me Woodson. Those would be my 8.
Bang bang. I can rock with that.
Mm-hmm.
I will put Joe Thomas in on the next ballot, and Zach Thomas, and Patrick Willis. All 3 of them will go on the next ballot for 2024.
You know, as wild as that, you got to see like who's eligible in 2024 and who's first ballot on there. That's what makes pushing it out so hard. That's why when we do our video game Hall of Fame, it's that fucking difficult because you think they could get it on the next ballot until the next games are up.
Yeah, so here
Same deal with this.
the difference is the our Hall of Fame
Mm-hmm.
is harder than the NFL Hall of Fame.
That's right. Because after 3, you done.
Just keep in mind, just be aware. We didn't have a show on Friday, so
Mm-mm.
we got the video game Hall of Fame, Corey's favorite segment, on Friday this week. And I don't know if y'all remember the ballot that we have, but feel free to look at it.
Yeah, I gotta go back and take a
Mm-hmm.
gander.
NCAA football. NCAA football is up there. 14. MLB The Show. 21 is up there. NBA Jam is up there. UFC is up there. NFL Blitz is up there. Fight Night Round 4 is up there. 2K3 is up there, and FIFA 23 is up there. All of them are on the second ballot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 total nominees we got for Friday. We can only put 4 in there.
Fo.
That's Wendy's.
Yeah, no, I'm hungry.
Yeah, that was a very slick but fat statement, and I can appreciate the creativity.
I know, man.
All right, man, I'm
Yeah,
done.
appreciate that. Yeah, I feel the list, man. Definitely sometimes it is good to not just sit back and smell the flowers, but sometimes hand them bitches out. Y'all got any final words?
I would just say, as I always say, thank you everybody for listening to the show and supporting us. We appreciate you all so much. Everybody, like I said, take care of yourselves, man. Stay focused on whatever it is that you have in front of you and do the best you can. Always do the best you can do. And if you felt like today you took a loss, if you wake up the next morning, you got an opportunity to correct it. So just keep pushing forward, stay positive, stay humble. Things will work out for you.
Him out to the KE.
My last words. Uh Friends are important. And I'm grateful to have, the friends that I have in my life. Obviously, y'all too included. Um, Sometimes there are sacrifices for your friends that you have to make for their peace of mind, for their comfortability. And it's not going to come off as a burden because of what they mean to you. So if you find yourself struggling to do a favor or struggling to do something, as long as it's not criminal, think about the impact that you could have on your friends. They might be going through something, may not be comfortable giving you all the details or whatever, but they may ask you for a favor. If they your nigga, step up for them. Step up for them. Make sacrifices for them. Because there's always going to come a point in time where they may have to make sacrifices for you. So take care of yourself, but also take care of your people. Take care of your circle. Take care of your friends. And I'm talking about the friends like your ride or dies, the ones who's never gonna leave your side, the ones like L and Corey and Killer for me and Nello and you and you know all of the friends that I got. Like it's too many to just name on the pod, but um, take care of your people. I know that if I need something, there's been a couple times, Killer, where I have called you and said, "Hey, Killer, look, I need this," and you like, done, no question.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, same thing. Hey, Corey, I need to talk to you about this. This is what I'm going through. Boom, listening here right there. So take care of yourself, like Corey said. Take care of your health, like Corey said. But also take care of your motherfucking people. Because when you need somebody to fall back on, it's gonna be those people who catch you and hold you up. Those are my last words.
Man, that was very beautifully put. And I'm glad to know I made that list of people for you, bro.
Of
I'm
course.
honored. I'm
Of
honored by
course.
that
Of
because
course.
that shows that the people in your circle, if you hold them down like that, that's proven that you can be trusted with major events, major life things. Because I did have a moment like that yesterday, and I was kind of hoping that the game was going to give me a bit of a distraction because I got some pretty bad family news about my niece. I'm not going to go into too many details, but she's 27 and she's in a fight for her life. So I'm you know needing to stay prayed up about it. I did not want to say anything about it pre-show because I didn't want to take the mood that we were in pre-show down. But this has been something that's been on my mind all day, and for the fact that both of y'all on your final words said the things that were just uttered, it's affirmation for me. And y'all didn't even know how much I needed to hear the words that y'all both just said. So my final words are gonna be a little different than what they usually are. Tell your people how important they are to you the second you feel the need to do that. The last thing you ever want to do is live with the regret of not knowing how something would have turned out if I only uttered words. I make sure not one day goes by where I don't tell my wife I love her, where I don't give my son a hug and a kiss, where I don't tell him I love him. Not one day goes by because I want them to know that no matter what happens to me, you're going to know how important you guys are to me. I made a vow in 2023 to be a better friend. 100% a better friend, a better father, a better husband. That's the deal for this. So hearing what y'all said just affirmed everything that I'm going through, how I'm feeling, what my mental was, everything.
Hey man, you know you can call us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I was just kind of coming down right about the time. That's why I was a little late to pre-show because I was thinking on that, and I just got my son to sleep, and I was just walking around the house just doing shit. Like it didn't need to be done in that moment, but I just felt the need to just do shit. And I think a lot of that's because when you got shit on your mind, the best way to get something off your mind is to put something else there. Even if it's something as small as washing the dishes if it ain't but 2 cups and a plate. But honestly, I appreciate all y'all for listening. If y'all got all the way to this part of the show, we really fuck with you. And don't forget the AFC Championship game watch party in the Discord. Yo, join the Discord. I cannot stress enough. Just join the Discord, sub to the YouTube channel. Keep consuming us the way you've been consuming us. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that a lot of
5-star
podcasts.
ratings.
Yeah, we have nothing but 5-star ratings. My girl was actually like, she just sitting there on the couch and Googled us and was like, "Oh damn, y'all ain't got nothing lower than a 5-star." And I was like, yeah, that's because we the shit.
Facts.
But whenever I got something I like, I want to share it with as many people as humanly possible. Because if I like it, god damn it, everybody about to like this shit. So I do that. I tell people, hey man, what's your favorite podcast? I'm like, mine. And then I'll list off some other ones I listen to at work as well, because I don't want to listen to my own voice that much.
Hey guys, the first Off the Sticks merchandise has been ordered.
Fuck yeah.
I ordered my sweatshirt.
Bro, I'm gonna get a shirt that says shout out to the motherfuckers. I really just want to wear that shirt.
Yeah, I know.
Shout
If
out
y'all
to the motherfuckers.
if y'all want me to order y'all the sweatshirt, we'll talk, you know what I'm saying, the next couple of days.
Hell yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah. All right, yo, let's get about here.
Perfect. Yeah, man. So we up about this thing, man. Love y'all. See y'all on Friday, unless shit happens, gonna be grown, life and shit. But until then, we about this bench. I ain't
We
forgot to say
out.
that word again for you. We out.
See
Peace.
ya.